For the Record, proudly brought to you by
Brand Source Home Gallery, inspiring luxury. Doctor's Hospital, peace of mind is important when life happens. Doctor's Hospital, always there for you. Call 949-6066. And Cayman Airways, call them on 949-2311 to book your nonstop flights to Los Angeles and Panama. Kirk Market, experience a world of choice. JN Money, from abroad to Yad. And Cineco, keeping Cayman covered.
We ask our listeners and viewers to avoid any statements or comments which are abusive, derogatory, malicious, or defamatory. Do not use indecent language or make any statement that is false or misleading. Call 1-800-534-8255, 949-6990, 949-8037, or WhatsApp us on 925-3261.
Live from Radio Cayman Studio.
This is For the Record with Orrett Connor.
Hear from your government officials, independents, and the opposition on issues that matter to you.
For the Record.
Engage in an open dialogue between residents and lawmakers.
With Orrett Connor.
Informative, impartial, insightful. This is For the Record. And now, your host, Orrett Connor.
Good morning, good morning, good morning, O land of soft, fresh breezes and verdant trees. So fair. Today is Wednesday, the 5th day of November 2025, right here in the beautiful Cayman Islands. We do hope and we trust that everyone had a restful, peaceful, enjoyable evening. Those of you who are on our roads, whether you're a pedestrian, a cyclist, or if you're operating any type of motorized vehicle, we urge you to please exercise extreme cautious. Ensure that you observe the rules of the road. Caution, that is, yeah. Ensure that you observe the rules of the road. And for those of you who are operating these motorized skateboards and even bicycles that are riding on the sidewalks. Yes, we do realize that sometimes you're a little bit scared of the automobiles, the other vehicles that are on the road, so you want to stay off the road as much as possible. But then you're putting pedestrians who are supposed to use the sidewalks, you're putting them in danger as well. So you would want to ensure that whatever you're operating out there is road worthy, that it complies with all of the rules, including you want to ensure that you wear a helmet, wear bright clothing so that you can be seen, and also ride on the proper side of the road as well. Because if you do all of those things, those of you using those motorized vehicles, as well as all of the other vehicle users, if you observe the rules of the road, then the life you save may just be your own. So for those of you who are celebrating a birthday today, we want to wish you a happy birthday. Or if you've celebrated one over the past few days, a happy belated birthday. And to remind you that For the Record birthday shout-outs are brought to you by Coca-Cola, who are proud to support your birthday shout-outs. Coca-Cola available across the Cayman Islands. You should accept no substitutes. Share a Coke with someone special. Those of you who have lost loved ones, again, we want to extend our sincere condolences to you. We hope and we trust that your faith will help to carry you through these extremely challenging times, and that the memories of your loved ones will be a blessing. Those of you who are ill and are either at home or at a medical facility here in the Cayman Islands or overseas, we wish you a speedy recovery. Again, big shout out to our colleague here at Radio Cayman, Mr. Joel Wilson as well. So, anyone that we would have missed after Monday, we did point out that Mr. Osborne Borden celebrated his birthday Monday, and that Miss Verlene Kelly celebrated hers on the 2nd of November, which was on the Sunday. We know that Mr. Craig Marin will be celebrating his birthday tomorrow as well, so we want to give him a big birthday shout out in advance of his birthday as well. If you know someone who's celebrating a birthday or any other momentous occasion, please share that information with us right here on For the Record, and we will give them a big shout out. And to remind you that, of course, the For the Record birthday shout outs brought to you by Coca-Cola, who are proud to support your birthday shout outs. Coca-Cola available across the Cayman Islands. You should accept no substitutes. Share a Coke with someone special. So speaking of persons passing, I see here where the National Trust sent out a press release. Let me make sure that I have the date on this. Sometimes you have to search for the date. Not on top of this, I'll have to look at the beginning. Oh yeah, 3rd of November. That the National Trust was sad to announce the passing of Lady Dace Ground, who was the first executive director of the National Trust for the Cayman Islands. Lady Dace passed away on the 31st of October 2025 in Chesterfield Hospital in the UK after a short illness. She was well known in the Caribbean overseas territories for her support of national trusts, not only in Cayman, but also Bermuda and the Turks and Caicos Islands. Until her passing, she was still very much involved in the UK Territories Conservation Forum. The National Trust for the Cayman Islands extends its condolences to all of those saddened by her passing. And for those of you who would know about Lady Dace Ground, she was the wife of the late Richard Ground, who, of course, was an Attorney General here in the Cayman Islands. He then moved on to Bermuda, where he served. I believe he served in Turks and Caicos as well. I will do a little bit more background research. I believe when he went to Bermuda, he was a puisne judge there, and then eventually became Chief Justice, I believe, in Bermuda as well. But I will verify all of that. But again, we want to extend our condolences to the family of the late Lady Dace Ground as well. So let's look and see what is happening in our local news front today. I'm always giving the compass the edge over other news services. So this morning we will look at the Cayman News Service. Sometimes I fail to mention them simply because they're a little bit late in terms of posting their news. So we see here there's an article about the planning abusing power and process with faulty notices. You may have an interest in that. There's also an article about a man who's been jailed for 10 years after beating and stomping his victim. When we look at the Cayman Compass, the headlines there: lawmakers won't debate the immigration reform bill until December. Well, and that was expected. That is not really any breaking news. for us, we know that today the debate presentation of the budget and the debate will take place, because what we had prior to that was the strategic policy statement. Of course, the closing date for submissions on the consultation bill that is out there in relation to immigration, that closes on the 14th of November. So you wouldn't expect the debate to take place before then. And I am almost certain that by the 14th of this month, that the Parliament would probably recess after that as well. Other headlines there are the NCFC government to deliver its first budget. I mentioned that earlier. Also, an article about strong fourth quarter needed for Cayman's tourism arrivals to surpass 2024. We'll see what happens there. Also, an article about Jamaica embarking on a national cleanup campaign after Hurricane Melissa, and an article about Cayman's skunk and wilk season, which is now open, and there is a call for care. We want to ensure that we observe our marine conservation laws. Don't take any more than you're allowed to take, and also to encourage those persons who may be tempted to purchase. You should know how many an individual is allowed to have, and do not go beyond that. Do not encourage persons to break our laws. I do believe we have a caller. Yeah, do you want to take the break first, and then we're going to go to the caller so that we won't have to interrupt? Folks, please stay tuned for the record. We'll be back shortly.
The Cayman Islands boasts of a long, colorful, and rich history. In tribute to our roots, Radio Cayman, the voice of the Cayman Islands, is pleased to bring you the Historical Vignette Series, brought to you by Rotary Central. For more than 110 years, Rotary members have used their passion, energy, and intelligence to take action on sustainable projects. The Cayman Islands, He hath founded it upon the seas.
Captain Joseph James Anglin, 1899-1982.
Captain Joseph James Anglin was a sea captain who sailed to the Mosquito Keys, Nicaragua, Cuba, and Tampa, Florida. Married to Alvis Christina Chrissy Ebanks and the father of 12 children, he was a God-fearing Christian and a preacher in church. Known as a good neighbor, he helped to build a strong community.
Radio Cayman's Historical Vignettes was brought to you by Rotary Central. For more than 110 years, Rotary members have used their passion, energy, and intelligence to take action on sustainable projects.
Since 1993, Rotary Central has worked diligently each year to provide quality bus shelters to our community. A traveling convenience to our school children, the elderly, young people going to work, guest workers, and visitors using the public bus. We, Rotary Central, help you, our advertisers, make it happen. Your marketing dollar travels a far way, positioning your message, your product, your services, your presence in over 83 bus shelters. Every dollar you spend, every advert you place helps to build another bus shelter, providing modest comfort for Cayman travelers. Reserve space now on the only billboard medium in the Cayman Islands. Email rotaryshelters@gmail.com. rotaryshelters@gmail.com. The Bus Shelters, a partner in community convenience. Another inspiration program by Rotary Central Cayman Islands.
Looking for fresh, healthy food that's full of flavor? Then you've got to visit Kirk Market. Our dishes are made with fresh, high-quality ingredients. Enjoy vibrant mixed greens or satisfying pasta salads. Or try one of our delicious grill options like blackened chicken, spicy beef steak, or grilled salmon. Looking for something light and flavorful? We've got sushi rolls and poke bowls prepared daily. And don't forget to explore a hot bar or Billy Fresh salad at the salad bar. Stop by Kirk Market today for breakfast, lunch, or dinner and taste the difference. Eat well, live well with Kirk Market.
My mom's a superhero. She always knows what to do when I feel icky. Yesterday, we went to West Bay Pharmacy, and they had everything she needed. Medicine, my favorite Band-Aids with dinosaurs, and even flavored vitamins. Mom says they keep our family healthy. I think they're magic. Don't tell anyone. I think superhero shop at West Bay Pharmacy. West Bay Pharmacy, where the superheroes shop. West Bay Pharmacy and Centennial Towers. Convenient quality care is just around the corner.
When you choose Cynical Motor Insurance, you're not just getting coverage. You're joining a community that cares about protecting you and your loved ones. Why Cynical? Personalized coverage tailored to your needs. 24/7 claim service, always just a call away. And peace of mind with care roadside assistance for flat tires to towing anytime, anywhere in Cayman. Ready for a quote? Visit cynical.ky. Cynical, keeping Cayman covered.
Brandysaur's Home Gallery is proud to celebrate 55 years of innovative and excellent service to the Cayman Islands. To mark this milestone, we're having a 25% store-wide sale from Saturday, November 1 through to Saturday, November 15. Every department, every brand, every item. Save 25% on appliances, kitchen cabinets, custom closets, bath vanities, tubs, sinks and faucets, Tempur-Pedic mattresses, and more. Plus, enter for your chance to win a $5,000 credit towards the purchase of a complete bathroom or kitchen makeover with free design by our professional designers. Come celebrate with us and enjoy 25% savings. Hurry! Sale ends on Saturday, November 15. Brandysaur's Home Gallery, Dorsey Drive, Industrial Park. Call 623-5000 for more information.
This summer, happiness is better when you share it. Coca-Cola invites you to share a Coke with someone special. Grab an ice-cold Coke and find a name. Maybe theirs, maybe yours, maybe a surprise. Because nothing says you matter like sharing a smile and a Coke. So who will you share a Coke with today? Find your name, find your friends, and share a Coke. Available now. Stores island-wide.
This is For the Record.
Good morning and welcome back to For the Record. We're going straight to our caller who we put on hold so that we could go to the commercial break. First caller, good morning. Welcome to For the Record.
Hello, good morning, Mr. Connor. How are you doing?
Good morning. I'm fine. How are you?
Doing pretty good. I just want to make two comments on some of the things you were talking about earlier.
Sure.
Firstly, obviously, the immigration reform. That's the hot topic over the last couple of weeks.
Mm-hmm.
I was listening to the show that you had with Mr. Miles and Mr. Howell when they were in the BRAC. I think that was early in the week.
On Monday?
What is it? Or Friday?
Friday, yes, Friday. Yes.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, I heard them, giving some of the explanations in regards to some of the things that they had reshaped, because obviously, within a document, in a reform, you have to have, a period where you're going to do tweaking.
Mm-hmm.
But one thing that I wanted to express and I wanted to share is that one of the reasons that Mr. Howell gave in regards to rolling back the 2-year proposed rollover back to 1 year, because they had spoke to the stakeholders and, they were given indications that it was going to create issues within areas in the financial service industry. And because it might encourage them to set up shop and do business elsewhere, and by no means we want to jeopardize our goose that lays the golden egg.
Mm-hmm.
So, but what I can say, and what I will say is that, I wish that they would, by extension to that policy, also put mechanisms in place to police the already existing issues that we're facing with business, with the financial service industry already outsourcing to places like Mauritius, in India, and the Philippines with cheap labor, with Cayman, email addresses as if they operate in Cayman, because that is currently happening right now. Right? And we need to combat that, because we're going to face the same issue with competing with jobs with persons who are operating in jurisdictions under our banner, under our license, with our emails, and for a lot less. So when a person want to get into the financial industry in Cayman, as a local, and want to climb that corporate ladder, most times and most places they start is doing exactly what they're outsourcing. Whereas it doesn't matter whether it's 1 year or 2 year rollover. If companies are still being allowed unpoliced or unchecked with outsourcing administration work abroad as if they're working in the Cayman Islands, then that's still an issue, whether you have a rollover policy or not. So we need to look heavily at that, because it's unfortunate that the minister had taken the position that he don't believe in allocating certain industries for Caymanians only. And then he went on to talk about real estate, and that we need to do. Now, I've said on a million occasions that we need to have comprehensive training programs to create the awareness for all industries in Cayman, so Caymanians could be motivated, right? But when he spoke about hospitality and real estate, I scratched my head, because why would we not exclude foreign workers from selling real estate in the Cayman Islands, and motivate the young Caymanians coming out of school, because you don't need a college degree or a master's or a PhD to sell real estate. That's something that you can do without even graduating from high school once given the right training.
And I would caller, sorry for interrupting you, but I would also venture to say that many of the real estate agents who are currently in the Cayman Islands, many of them have moved from other occupations in the Cayman Islands into real estate.
You're absolutely right. I know of one individual who I see all over social media now saying he chose real estate. He used to work at the Ritz. I know this because I know him personally, and I saw him at the Ritz several times. He did start out at the Ritz, and now he's into real estate. Also, another big issue we have is the LCCLs, where individuals are coming here, applying for LCCLs, opening up their own brokerage companies, and working for themselves, selling real estate. So we need to stop that too. Now, as far as the numbers for the fourth quarter of tourism, I was watching the news, Mr. Connor, this week, and ironically, and I don't normally watch the news 2 p.m. or 3 p.m. in the day, but I was watching it, and there was a report that said that there are flights backed up in Texas and delayed due to air traffic controllers due to the government shutdown.
Right.
And one of the persons that they interviewed, ironically, was a family of 5 coming to the Cayman Islands.
Wow.
So I took the clip, I posted it on my page, and just simply said, this is one of the issues that's going to hurt our tourism product in the high season, especially. And that, I just referenced, come on, Trump, get it together. Let's get this thing open. Not necessarily blaming Trump for the lockdown, and I was attacked for it. I said, but listen, guys, you all paying attention to Trump and what I said. Let's pay attention to our tourism product being hurt because of something that is going on that's out of our control. And that's why we have to be more creative and more innovative, thinking outside the box on how to get these things done, right? And thank God we got our own airline.
Yeah.
Because as much criticism this Cayman Airways take, a lot of people do not seem to understand that the head count that Cayman Airways fly in here annually, if you were to equate that to dollars and cents, it far exceeds the subsidy that we give every year to that airline.
Oh yes, no question.
So we must be very careful how we criticize one of our our golden tokens. We have to be very careful.
Yeah.
But
can we go back? Can we go back to the outsourcing of jobs?
Yes,
that one. I, in my mind, it is very, very difficult to police. Do you have any suggestions in how in terms of how do we overcome that? What kind of laws can we pass? Because the laws of the Cayman Islands cannot extend beyond our borders.
Okay, I don't disagree with that, but I what I would suggest is that we do a better job of monitoring the employment list of people who are under a registered licensed company in the Cayman Islands. Like, for instance, we do annual audits on finances. So how is it that every 2 quarters or every half of the year we say, listen, we need to get an annual report on all of the employees that are working within the jurisdiction of the Cayman Islands? And once they produce that employment list, you'll be able to determine very quickly who's on island, because if the persons who require work permits, they would be in the system.
Mm-hmm.
And if you have a person on the list that's not in the system and not on the island, then clearly they're not operating in the Cayman Islands jurisdiction. So therefore, they'll be in violation. Now, going back to what you said now.
I'm a little confused there. The original list that you would require of them would say what would ask for what?
It's for their full employment list under the license that they operate in the Cayman Islands. Like, they have to give you a full list of all employment.
Inside the Cayman Islands as well as outside?
As well as outside. Not only that, those persons who possess the .ky email addresses. But that's critical, Mr. Connor, because when these people are communicating with clients, the clients are unaware that they're sitting in Mauritius in some box cubicle.
Mm-hmm.
So don't get me wrong. I'm not saying it's easy to police,
right?
But it is a problem, because if we're saying then we're going to roll back the 2-year rollover and put it back to 1 year to police this from happening, when that is not the way to police it.
Mm-hmm.
You just said, how do we police it? It's definitely happening in the Cayman Islands. I've seen it, right?
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, I'm not calling the names and pointing the fingers, because I can't afford any lawsuits, and neither can Radio Cayman.
Now, there are those people, persons who say and feel that what's the difference between 1 and 2 year rollover? What would an additional year, what would that translate into?
Well, I think, my personal opinion on a rollover is a little bit different from what I believe they intended it to be. However, the 2-year rollover would give a longer rest period between that person's employment for a Caymanian to, I guess, gain the necessary experience in which they require in order to take that role. But in the absence of succession planning, which is enforced by law, we're still going to face that problem.
Yeah.
So, yeah, anyway, I just think it's definitely for something to be debated, and I'm a little jaded with the minister saying, "Oh, we already talked to the stakeholders and we have now reshaped the bill, and now we're going to go to the public for public consultation." But I'm saying to myself that if you already talked to the stakeholders and been influenced to shape the bill or repeal some of the stuff and make it a little easier, then what am I going to say in any forum or in the town hall that's going to make you change your mind from what the stakeholders already convinced you to do? So that's just my opinion.
Thank you very much for that. Very good conversation, very good points that you've made as well. We have another birthday shout out, Mr. Andrew Smith, who works with customs at Owen Roberts International Airport. Some of you may know him as Turtle. He is celebrating his birthday today, so big shout out going out to Mr. Andrew Smith, coming from the crew at Lord Graham's, including Mark Watler, who has reminded us of your birthday as well. Very quickly, hope I have enough time. I mentioned earlier about Richard Ground and the late Richard Ground. So he was born in Stamford, England in 1949, studied at Lincoln College, Oxford, Inns Court School of Law, called to the bar at Gray's Inn in 1975. He was a media lawyer in London before coming to the Cayman Islands to serve as Crown Counsel from 1983 to 1987, and then as Attorney General of the Cayman Islands from 1987 until 1992. He was also Chief Justice in the Turks and Caicos Islands from 1998 to 2004, and Chief Justice of Bermuda from 2004 to 2012. He retired as Chief Justice on the in 2012 and was succeeded by Ian Kowali, and he passed away, unfortunately, on the 22nd of February, 2014. So we see, again, someone coming, nothing, and not criticizing him in any way, just pointing it out, came here as Crown Counsel, moved up to become Attorney General. We see another person who came here as a Crown council and eventually went back to his country and became the Chief Justice over there, Mr. Ivor Archie, who just recently retired as well. So again, we have a reputation here in the Cayman Islands for helping them up the ladder as well. Folks, top of the hour, 8 o'clock news. Please stay tuned. For the record, we'll be back immediately after the 8 o'clock news.
Thank you, Mr. Connor. And studio time now is 8 o'clock, brought to you with the kind compliments of Foster's.
When you're on the go, the experienced team at Foster's Pharmacy are here to help. Drop off your prescription while you shop or WhatsApp us and we'll prepare it, ready for your arrival.
Whether you need prescription or over-the-counter medications, blood glucose testing, or advice on vitamins and supplements, we're here early in the morning to late at night. Both of our locations at our Camana Bay and airport stores are open 7 a.m. to 9 p.m., Monday to Saturday.
For more info, visit fosters.ky/pharmacy. Foster's Pharmacy. Better health because we care.
The voice of the Cayman Islands.
89.9 FM in Grand Cayman and 93.9 FM in Cayman Brac and Little Cayman.
Silver wings shining in the sunlight.
Radio Cayman.
For today's biggest news.
Radio Cayman, the voice of the Cayman Islands.
With your latest news, I'm Carsley Fuller. Educators, child care providers, parents, and scholars attended the Life Literacy Conference at the Kimpton on the weekend. Here's CIGTV's Kapara Augustin.
Themed Early Childhood Strong Start, Strong Future emphasized early years education as the foundation for lifelong success and unveiled the KPMG report From Play to Progress, Strengthening Early Childhood Education in the Cayman Islands, which provided comprehensive data-driven insights into the quality, access, affordability, and challenges facing local early childhood education. Minister for Education, the Honorable Ralston Anglin, delivered remarks and shared what his ministry is focusing on to make early childhood education more accessible for the people of the Cayman Islands.
I don't need an economist, a chart, or anything else to tell me that early childhood care and education must be the priority of any education system that is going to help change the life outcomes, improve the life outcomes of human beings.
Minister Anglin stated that the ministry, through the Early Childhood Education Unit, would be developing a national early years quality framework to better hold local education centers accountable.
Looking ahead, the Minister of Education and Training intends to build upon this framework by placing the child even more firmly at the center of learning, so that every developmental milestone is celebrated and supported. We will further strengthen the framework by embedding social, emotional learning, play-based themed activities, and sensory-friendly environments into our early settings, ensuring that every child has the opportunity to thrive mentally, physically, and spiritually.
To learn more about the conference, visit lifeconference.ky.
Customs and Border Control is honoring the life and service of late colleague, Senior Customs and Border Control Officer Glarman Bobo Grant. As a result, the unit's cargo processing unit will be closing at 12:30 today. A long-serving civil servant, Mr. Grant made a, quote, positive and lasting contribution to CBC, the civil service, and the country as a whole. In other news,
the full moon on the 5th of November will be a particularly big supermoon.
The Super Hunter moon is the closest supermoon of the year, appearing slightly bigger and brighter than usual. Astronomical Society President Tyan Miller.
Supermoons and mini-moons are caused by the slightly elliptical orbit of the moon around the Earth. In fact, the actual moment when the moon is closest to the Earth, called perigee, will be at about 5:30 p.m. for us, and will be very close to the time it rises over the Cayman Islands at 5:53 p.m.
You'll be able to view it from tonight through tomorrow morning. Now with a check of international news, here's the BBC, which takes us out of the newscast. I'm Carsley Fuller.
BBC News with Moira Alderson. New York City's mayor-elect has said his election victory is a mandate for a new kind of politics and for a city people can afford. Zohan Mandani, who describes himself as a democratic socialist, decisively won Tuesday's election on a platform that focused largely on the cost of living. In his victory speech, the 34-year-old criticised President Trump and the current political climate in the US. America's Democratic Party saw other good results in state and local elections, including capturing the governorship of Virginia from the Republicans. A driver has hit several pedestrians and cyclists on the French island of Orrett, injuring 10 people, 4 seriously. A man's been arrested and the local prosecutor has opened an investigation into attempted murder. The United Nations is warning of worsening insecurity in Sudan's Kordofan region. It comes after 40 people were killed in an attack on a funeral in El Obeid, in the capital of North Kordofan. The number of people killed by Typhoon Galmegi in the Philippines has now risen past 90 as the storm's devastating impact becomes clearer. It caused some of the worst flooding of recent times. Tanzania's main opposition party, Chadema, says its deputy chairman has been charged with terrorism. The authorities have not confirmed the report. Tanzania has seen serious unrest after disputed presidential elections. France has said it will work relentlessly to secure the return of 2 French nationals who've been released from jail by Iran. Cécile Collet and her partner Jacques Paris had been accused of spying for France as well as Israel. BBC News.
Stay in touch with Radio Cayman with the latest up-to-date, accurate news and information. For your convenience, the headline news will be repeated on our sister station, Breeze 105.3 FM, weekdays at 8:30 a.m. Follow Radio Cayman on social media, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, or download the Radio Cayman app in the App Store or log on to www.radiocayman.gov.ky and stay connected to what's happening in the community. Radio Cayman, your voice, your choice, your radio.
Since 1993, Rotary Central has worked diligently each year to provide quality bus shelters to our community. A traveling convenience to our school children, the elderly, young people going to work, guest workers, and visitors using the public bus. We, Rotary Central, help you, our advertisers, make it happen. Your marketing dollar travels a far way. Positioning your message, your product, your services, your presence in over 83 bus shelters. Every dollar you spend, every advert you place helps to build another bus shelter, providing modest comfort for Cayman travelers. Reserve space now on the only billboard medium in the Cayman Islands. Email rotaryshelters@gmail.com. rotaryshelters@gmail.com. The Bus Shelters, a partner in community convenience. Another inspiration program by Rotary Central Cayman Islands.
For the Health of It, heard on Wednesdays at 7 p.m. and repeated on Saturdays at 9:30 a.m. Brought to you by UHealth International, University of Miami Health System. International patients go to UHealth International for consultations with renowned physicians, advanced treatment technologies, leading-edge medical therapies, and state-of-the-art surgical procedures. Whatever your particular reason for going to UHealth International, you will receive customized medical care delivered within a compassionate, multicultural setting. The care you need when you need it.
The 8 a.m. weather update brought to you by
CG Britcay, where people come first.
Good morning. Let's take a look at the latest weather report. Synopsis indicate moderate to fresh winds along with moderate seas are expected today over the Cayman area in association with a high pressure system over the western Atlantic Ocean. Radar imagery show isolated showers in and around the Cayman area moving towards the west. Now the forecast for the Cayman Islands for today, calling for partly cloudy skies with a 40% chance of showers. Temperatures will rise near the upper 80s with a heat index of 100 degrees Fahrenheit. Winds will be east to northeast at 10 to 15 knots with higher gusts, and seas will be moderate with wave heights of 3 to 5 feet. Tonight, partly cloudy skies with a 30% chance of showers, and temperatures falling to the upper 70s tonight. Your winds will be east to northeast at 10 to 15 knots, and seas will be moderate with wave heights of 3 to 5 feet as well. Today's high tide will occur this morning at 9:27, low tide this afternoon at 3:27, and a high tide again tonight at 8:40. The sun will set this evening at 5:48 and will rise tomorrow morning at 6:29. And the outlook is calling for light to moderate winds and seas from tomorrow, along with a few showers through Saturday morning. And that's the very latest on your weather report.
Let's hear it for your Wildcat cheerleaders. Aunt Angie, weren't you a cheerleader?
The best in the Western Hemisphere. Until I attempted that switch kick, double twist roundhouse.
Huh?
Exactly. I must have been in the air for 20 seconds before I fell into that snare drum. I set a world record, though, and thankfully I could trust the CG Medical Portal with my claims. All 37 of them.
The CG Medical Portal. Safe and secure. CG BritK. Good like that.
The 8 a.m. weather update brought to you by
CG BritK, where people come first.
We are Radio Cayman.
Covering Cayman Bright, Little Cayman, and Grand Cayman.
1 in a million.
We are in the hurricane season, and knowing what to do after a hurricane can be as important as preparing for the storm. After the passage of a hurricane, seek medical attention if it is needed at hospitals and clinics for those persons who are injured. Do not touch power lines and cables that are down; they may be active. Report them to 911 or the utility emergency hotlines. Broken tree limbs should be removed from around homes and buildings if possible. This hurricane information was brought to you by Breeze FM and Radio Cayman.
The traffic report is brought to you by Subway. Enjoy a delicious start to your day with breakfast from Subway.
Top of the morning, let's check in with traffic, see what's happening on our roads. Further up on Shamrock Road, traffic is moving at a moderate pace. Further down, a little different story as traffic is steady as you approach the Linford Pearson Highway. Steady traffic coming off of Bobby Thompson Way as well as Agnes Way. SLE Tibbetts Highway traffic is steady but flowing and continuing on to North Sound Road. Moderate flow of traffic heading towards the Industrial Park area. Steady traffic on Huldah Avenue. Godfrey Nixon Way and Eastern Avenue flowing at a moderate pace. Let's check out West Bay. For the West Bay 4-way stop, traffic flowing pretty good. On the West Bay Road, traffic is moderate in both directions. Now, if you've seen accidents or incidents, let us know by calling us at 949-6990. Join us again at about 10 minutes past 12. We'll give you another look at traffic. Have a good morning and drive safe.
Did you know ordering your favorite sandwich from Subway just got easier? Yeah, picture this. No more waiting in line. No more fussing with cash. Just a delicious taste of Subway at your fingertips. With our new app, ordering your go-to sub is as easy as a few taps on your phone. Plus, receive exclusive deals and earn loyalty points with every purchase made on the app. Download the new Subway app today and get ready to ditch the lines and drive straight into your flavor. Visit the App Store or Google Play Store on your mobile phone and search for Subway Cayman Islands. Subway. Eat fresh.
The traffic report is brought to you by Subway. Enjoy a delicious start to your day with breakfast from Subway.
Shipping to the Cayman Islands is fast, reliable, and seamless thanks to Cayman Airways Cargo. Need it faster than ocean freight? Cayman Airways Cargo offers multiple cargo flights to Grand Cayman from Miami weekly, so your packages, whether big, small, or in between, will arrive in no time. You can even use a Cayman Airways Cargo US address for your online shopping. Cayman Airways Cargo is also the only carrier providing air freight services for Cayman Brac and Little Cayman. Contact us today and see why Cayman Airways Cargo was voted as Cayman's best cargo and logistics company in the Best of Cayman Awards. For details, visit CaymanAirways.com/cargo.
Radio Cayman News.
We continue our coverage of the aftermath of Hurricane Melissa in Jamaica.
We're going to make sure that we take care of everybody, that we feed everybody, that make it strong.
The meeting saw over 30 BRAC residents in attendance sharing their thoughts on the proposed amendments.
Why aren't we doing X? How are you going to protect Cayman?
Radio Cayman. Your voice, your choice for today's biggest news.
For the Record with Orrett Connor.
Good morning and welcome back to For the Record. We should have guests in the studio shortly. Meanwhile, our phone lines will remain open. If you have any questions, comments or issues that you want to discuss, our toll-free number 1-800-534-8255. You can also call us on 949-8037. 949-6990 or WhatsApp number 925-3261. Meanwhile, we can share some additional information with you. As you may or may not know, that the nominations are open for the King's Birthday Honors 2026. The dateline for that is the Thursday, the 20th of November, for you to make submissions. So if you know someone who has made an exceptional contribution to the Cayman Islands, someone whose dedication, service, or achievements deserve national recognition, if you do know someone who falls into one of those categories, then the governor's office is calling for you to nominate for nominations to recognize outstanding individuals who have made exceptional contributions to the Cayman Islands. The King's Birthday Honors celebrate individuals who, 1, make a real difference in their community or profession. 2, enhance the reputation of the Cayman Islands. 3, show leadership, innovation, or moral courage. 4, serve others through voluntary work or public service. Honors span fields such as community and voluntary service, arts, media, health, education, science, sports, business, and the civil service as well. Anyone can submit a nomination, and you can find the nomination forms and guidance at www.gov.uk/honors/overview as well. We have a caller. We're going to take the caller. But before we do that, I'm going to take the opportunity to say good morning and welcome our guests into the studio. And then, caller, we're going to come directly to you after that. So it is my pleasure to have in the studio with me this morning none other than Mr. Roy Tatum, Member of Parliament who represents the constituency of Red Bay in our Parliament, and Deputy Leader of the Opposition, also representing Georgetown Central in our Parliament, Mr. Kenneth Bryan. Gentlemen, good morning. Welcome to For the Record.
Good morning, Mr. Connor. Good morning, Cayman Islands, and good morning to my colleague, Roy. I didn't even get a chance to say hi to you because I was talking outside. It's a pleasure to be here. We got a lot to talk about, so I won't take up much time with the intro, but it's a pleasure to be here.
Okay. And I'll say my good mornings as well. Good to be back with you, OC. And good morning to my constituents in Red Bay, the wider Cayman Islands, and my friends and family over in Cayman Bracken, Little Cayman. Morning, all.
Okay, thank you. Let's go to our caller. Caller, good morning. Welcome to For the Record.
Hello, good morning, Mr. Connor.
Hi, good morning. Good morning. How are you?
Good, Suzanne Bothwell here, and good morning to your distinguished guest.
Morning.
Good morning.
Yes, I'm just calling today just to say, to give thanks for Cayman being safe in the hurricane season.
Mm-hmm.
I know we're coming to the tail end, or we are formally at the tail end, but I just think it's important that as a country we give thanks, and that we also remember that our brothers and sisters in a number of Caribbean islands, Jamaica, Haiti, Cuba, etc., that they are still suffering the impact of the Hurricane Melissa,
mm-hmm.
and that for those of us who can give something to help them, that we give and we continue to give. Because I recall that our own journey took a long time for us to get back on our feet. So that's all I have to say this morning.
Okay, and in terms of what I would add to what you've said, Ms. Bothwell, is that there are so many organizations out there that are asking for funds, asking for donations. So you have a choice, and you want to choose the one that you feel most comfortable with. Many public servants, civil servants who are members, let's say, of our credit union. We know that the credit union has an appeal out there, and I think they're also prepared to match up to $10,000 in matching funds to the credit union organization in Jamaica as well. So the advice would be, to choose the organization that you would wish to funnel your donations through. And if you need to do background checks on them, of course, we don't need to do any background check on our credit union or several others as well, but do that as well. And I want to thank that caller for that. One more caller. Caller, good morning. Welcome to For the Record.
Good morning, gentlemen.
Good morning. Good morning.
Good morning, sir.
Morning.
Oh, that's my friend, Mr. Kenneth. This is Orman up here in the district of West Bay.
In the Republic. Good morning, sir.
I guess, when you say Republic, you got to be careful when you say that.
Very true, very true.
Yeah. OC, I just heard you talk earlier about the Cayman Airways. It's something that we need to be so proud of. It's not just the Cayman Airways, but I think, and I will say, it's the pride of the Caribbean as well.
Mm-hmm.
We need to just really kind of look forward to improving in whichever way it's necessary. But I think we got a fantastic system going, and I am so proud to be a Caymanian that flies on Cayman Airways, because it's something that we look forward to. And again, I just want to say I think it's the pride of the Caribbean as well. So, gentlemen, that's my little piece, and have a pleasant day.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, sir. Much appreciated. It's always good to hear from him. He's such a pleasant, generational Caymanian that gives the spirit of who we are. Yeah. Mr. Corner, I think we should just get right into it, because we have a lot to cover and very little time to cover it this morning.
Okay. What time does Parliament convene? Back to
at
2
o'clock today.
Okay.
But we do have a lot of huddling in the opposition. We got a lot of stuff to discuss and getting ourselves prepared today.
Mm-hmm.
We're going to be covering the parliamentary proceedings today and a number of other things, obviously the immigration bill. But before I do so, I just got a request from a very important organization, Meals on Wheels, Cayman.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. And I know that we constantly, obviously most people are trying to raise funds for Jamaica, rightfully so, considering the circumstances they're going through, but we do have organizations here at home that also need the assistance. So the Meals on Wheels organization is having a community garage sale this Saturday coming at 8:30 till noon at the South Sound Community Center.
Okay.
And now this is open for everybody. If you've been planning to have a garage sale and you still haven't done it, this is a good place for you to do it, because they're selling spots. So each person can have a spot for $25.
Okay.
And you can get to bring your stuff and sell them, where you bring all the goods in one place. And for those people who, there's some we call garage sale hunters. If you're one of those, you want to get a good little bargain, there will obviously be a lot of vendors there that Saturday morning. So go ahead down there and look for whatever you need. Maybe you might find some stuff we can take to Jamaica or send to Jamaica. And then the spot is only $25 for those who may want to be a vendor themselves. Mm-hmm. In order for you to do so, you can get hold of the people responsible at Meals on Wheels, and their number is 929-1411. 929-1411. Or you can email them at info@mealsonwheels.ky. info@mealsonwheels.ky. I'll leave that there. With that being said, sorry,
just to interrupt. Since we're in an announcing,
yes,
announcing mode, just to say that Church of God Holiness in Red Bay will be this coming Saturday. Also, will be having a fundraiser event for the church repairs. It's a wonderful, delicious food. I've participated in the past, and I will be there this coming Saturday as well. But I urge anyone who can come out there as well between 12 and 4 p.m. That's the Church of God Holiness Church in Red Bay, down on Lord's Way off of Selkirk Drive. Please go by. If you need information, you can reach out to me, or you can call 926-2382 or 928-0018. 926-2382 or 928-0018. Fundraiser this Saturday.
You know what's on the menu?
Yeah, I can tell what's on the menu.
Yes.
Barbecue chicken, barbecue pork ribs.
I'm listening for turtle,
Chicken and ribs, steak, no turtle. But what's here is fantastic. So, thank you for that.
Sure.
All right, Mr. Corner, again, it's a pleasure to be here. And unfortunately, our leader couldn't be here this morning. He obviously has most of the weight on his shoulders, getting everything ready for today. And today is the first of this parliamentary sitting as we discuss the country's budget for the next 2 years. A very large budget, over $2 billion worth. So you can imagine we have a lot on our shoulders to make sure that we critique and examine the allocations of all that money on behalf of the good people, which is the people's taxpayers' money. But before we get into the politics of things from a parliamentary perspective, on behalf of the official opposition, not only the members, but our executive members of our party, all of our supporters and general members, we want to send our hearts and prayers and sympathies out to every person in Jamaica and those who are a part of the diaspora here in Cayman and across the world. Jamaica has had a devastation like no other. It's going to take decades of recovery. We here in the Cayman Islands are fully aware of that exercise with Ivan. And I must say that we're also happy to hear so many people, rolling their sleeves up and supporting this in any kind of way that they can. As you said, and there's a number of organizations. You choose whichever one you think is best and the one that you feel is most trusted to do so, because we have to acknowledge that there are going to be people who are malicious and try to take advantage of these things. So to ask you to do your due diligence in that respect, our party, the People's Progressive Movement, will continue to do what we can in the various different organizations and give them support. We have not organized anything specific. We think, too many hands in a pot might just make the soup not tasty. So we're focusing in our meetings to discuss where we would give our support, our volunteerism, and all of those factors, and any kind of monies that we have available to us. But the most important thing I want on behalf of the People's Progressive Movement, its executive, its members, my leader, and all of our members across the Cayman Islands, our hearts and prayers go out for the people of Jamaica in this time.
I'll chime in on that as well. We were here a week ago, watching the start of what we saw was happening in Jamaica. It's even probably worse than we would even imagine. But our hearts and prayers go out, and we will do our best. I was extremely proud to see Premier Andre and our leader, Honorable Joey Hugh.
Yes, I was going to mention that.
And the government ministers and so on that one of the first flights into Jamaica, and the government's commitment to assist as well. I think that's excellent, and I'm very proud and happy that we were able to actually do that. So, yeah.
Yes. So again, kudos to the government for their commitment. That's one thing we have always been good at, is putting the politics aside in support of others. Before we go to the break, I think one of the things that most people maybe want to pay close attention to is the parliamentary proceedings, which starts today, the official sitting, which focuses mainly on the budget. But there's other motions and bills that are coming. But just so persons are aware, we start Parliament today at 2 p.m. and we'll be dealing with a number of bills which are non-controversial, 2 bills being the Administrative Appeals Tribunals and Beneficial Ownership bills. They're amendment bills, and they're more financially services related. By all means, I can't say it's not something that will affect the average person, because any law that changes can change the structure upon which the financial services operate in. But these are to improve that according to the government. The opposition hasn't had any official opposition to it, so it shouldn't be controversial in any capacity. There are 4 other government motions that have to do with changing of zoning and various different areas across the country. Again, something not too controversial. Sometimes you will hear the government present things moving from residential to low density commercial or tourism. So if you want to hear what those 4 areas are. We'll be talking about that today. Tomorrow, November the 6th, we start at 10 a.m. first thing in the morning, and this is when the official budget will be presented itself. The document, which will probably be about 400 or 500 pages worth, but we have to do our job and go through and critique that very diligently. The Premier will open with a statement to Parliament, and then we'll have the first and second reading of the appropriation bill, which deals with the monies itself, and then you'll hear from the Minister of Finance, and he'll present the government's position on the monies that they will intend to spend over the 2026 and 2027 years. As you've heard us speak before, when they presented the SPS, they basically gave a projections of what they will be spending. Unfortunately, I'm not happy about that, because the projections, if they are factual, when we have the budget tomorrow, plans to put us in over $655 million further in debt, with $321 million more in borrowing. But I'm not here to dwell on that, but I want to rehash that that's what we intend to see tomorrow if they stick to those numbers, unless it's changing. I don't see them fundamentally majorly doing some changes. But the point of the bill, of the budget, is to see where those monies are divvied up amongst the various different portfolios and responsibilities for their policies. I know we got to go to a break, so I'm going to stop there and explain the rest of Finance Committee, the budget debate itself, and some other bills that are coming later on in the year.
Okay, and I noticed that normally they would send out a press release and the order of business taking place. That hasn't I haven't seen that yet.
I'll be happy
to
provide it for you this morning.
That would be great. That would be great.
Yeah, I'll send you now.
Okay, folks, we're going to take a commercial break. When we return, the conversation with Mr. Roy Tatum and the Deputy Leader of the Opposition, Mr. MP, Mr. Kenneth Bryan, will continue. Please stay tuned.
Did you know that Doctors Hospital provides urgent care services 24 hours a day, 7 days a week? And Doctors Hospital's urgent care physicians have access to the most advanced MRI and CT imaging in the Caribbean, providing reliable diagnostics when you need it most. When you need quality urgent care for an illness or injury, Doctors Hospital is here for you 24/7. Whether it's a migraine, chest or abdominal pain, shortness of breath, broken bones, or another urgent need, Doctors Hospital at the top of Walker's Road. Urgent care right now.
Shipping to the Cayman Islands is fast, reliable, and seamless thanks to Cayman Airways Cargo. Need it faster than ocean freight? Cayman Airways Cargo offers multiple cargo flights to Grand Cayman from Miami weekly, so your packages, whether big, small, or in between, will arrive in no time. You can even use a Cayman Airways Cargo US address for your online shopping. Cayman Airways Cargo is also the only carrier providing air freight services for Cayman Brac and Little Cayman. Contact us today and see why Cayman Airways Cargo was voted as Cayman's best cargo and logistics company in the Best of Cayman Awards. For details, visit CaymanAirways.com/cargo.
Your dream home starts with a vision, and often inspiration is at the heart of that vision. Brand Source Home Gallery's in-house designers are here to help bring your vision to life. Whether you're remodeling or building a new home, Brand Source Home Gallery is your one-stop solution. Explore their kitchen cabinets, sinks, faucets, bath fixtures, tubs, vanities, and more. Let Brand Source's designers help and inspire you with your next project. Call 623-5000 and schedule an appointment with a design expert at Brand Source Home Gallery, Dorsey Drive, Industrial Park, serving Cayman for 50 years.
Did you know that you can send money transfers to financial institutions anywhere in Jamaica with JN Money?
You mean I can send money straight to my account and cut out the middleman?
Yes, that's exactly what I mean. You send your own money to your own account, giving you peace of mind that the money is in your account.
JN Money Transfers to Financial Institution is another convenient service offered by JN Money. You can have this done from any JN Money location. Deposit your money straight to your account without the hassle of asking someone to do it for you. JN Money Transfers to Financial Institutions, making life easier.
Starting January 1, 2026, the minimum wage in the Cayman Islands will increase to CI $8.75 per hour. This change is designed to ensure fair pay and to support workers across the islands. Whether you're an employee or an employer, it is important to understand how this adjustment affects you. Learn more about the new rate, how it's applied, and what it means for your workplace by visiting gov.ky/DLP or email minimumwage@gov.ky.
This is For the Record.
Good morning and welcome back to For the Record. In the studio with me, MP Roy Tatum and Deputy Leader of the Opposition and MP, Mr. Kenneth Bryan. Gentlemen, the mic is yours.
Thank you again, OC. I'm just going to close up, and then my colleague is going to go over the agenda for today specifically as he sent it to you. But just some notes that persons who want to be paying attention to what's happening. Before we went to the break, I explained that on November 6th, which is tomorrow, the budget debate will be officially started, and we're starting at 10 o'clock tomorrow morning, where the budget itself will be presented, the appropriations bill, and appropriations meaning the line items of the money. Naturally, that will start with the Minister of Finance, and then we take a break after that until November the 11th. Conventionally, it's expected for a break between where the opposition has a few days to analyze the document, go through the numbers, see what it says. Because tomorrow would be the first time we ever see this document. The government obviously probably has been working on it for many months, or potentially only been working on it for 1 week. I don't know. But this is the first time we'll see it, and we have to go through the numbers. We come back on November the 11th, and we debate the bill.
Okay.
And it's allocated from Tuesday to Friday, which would be November the 11th to the 14th. And the reason why 4 days is allocated for it is because it's expected that this is the time when you go through everything that you expect to talk about over the next 2 years and the $2 billion worth of money. So, the standing orders allow each member to speak for 2 hours. It also, we expect to hear from each minister. One thing I was very disappointed, and we were disappointed in the opposition, is that at the SBS, which is the Strategic Policy Statement delivery last month, the ministers didn't speak. We only heard from the Finance Minister and the Premier. I think the Honourable Deputy Premier spoke for like 6 minutes as well. What wasn't very long. And it goes against the convention of where you hear the responsible ministers for the area portfolio lay out the plan and the vision for these areas of responsibility. And we didn't hear anything.
So when you say you expect, it isn't obligatory.
It's not obligatory.
But you would hope and trust that the ministers...
If the ministers don't speak, this country should be very concerned. Because that means that the minister is not selling or telling you what they're planning to do. Now, what you may hear is them say, go look at our SPS document. And that would be very disappointing and very lazy if that is the case, because we didn't even get a fulsome explanation of where the country is going by the Premier himself. Again, I know that this may sound like I'm criticizing, but I'm critiquing with facts that may sound bad, but it's simple facts. This is the first time we've heard a strategic policy document presentation by the leader of the country being so short. Normally, it's easily close to 2 hours.
It was a lot of vision stuff. There was no substance to it. There really wasn't any substance to it, to be quite frank.
But isn't that what is intended to be? Just
No, that's what the strategic policy statement says.
Yeah.
So the policies outline what you intend to do. The budget says,
but it's more of an overview.
No. Okay. So if you let's think about that for a second. If you're saying it's just an overview, where's the details? That's my point. That is the detail. The policy is the detail to tell you specifically what they intend to do. Then the budget comes back later and says, here's the monies we're going to give you to go through the details. So ultimately, again, the government can do what it likes. It's up to them. I think most people in the historically political arena will tell you, even if you ask good Dr. Steve McPhail, he'll tell you, any former MP will say to you, it was quite interesting that you got such limited conversation and contribution to what exactly the SBS vision and plan would be. But I'm not here. Let's not dwell on that part. We in the opposition expect to hear each minister speak to the areas of responsibility. They didn't speak at the SBS time to tell us what they're going to do. This is the second opportunity now at the budget time, now that you will be presenting the monies that you're requesting to be approved the taxpayers' money to do these things within your various areas of portfolio. Here's what you're going to do with it. If they choose not to do that, I tell you what, as a voter myself, I would be very concerned, and it's for the public to demand that or not. We in the opposition will hold them accountable. So there's 4 days of debate there.
If I could just jump in just that, the finance minister was the only one on the government bench who gave a fulsome presentation. Thank you. In contrast to the Premier, Leader Joey Hugh did give a very fulsome debate on a range of things. So and he will go back again, and he will be providing a similar when he gets up to debate the budget. So it is a shame that the Premier missed the opportunity to take advantage and start sharing not just some waffly stuff about a vision, but something about where he was looking to take the country.
Mm-hmm.
But I guess we'll be hearing about that this coming week.
Correct. So
sorry to interrupt.
No. Don't be sorry at all. I think that's a very valid input. That we have to give credit where credit is due. And the Minister, the Honourable Ralston Anglin, did give a wholesome presentation at the SPS period, and one would think that he would be more prepared and going to give that at the time of the budget. But he's an experienced MP. And by all means, I'm not surprised. And I'm assuming you will definitely hear that again tomorrow, a very wholesome one. So the debate itself on the budget will last for 4 days from November the 11th to the 14th, because we know that this Monday coming is a holiday. Mm-hmm. After that, we go into Finance Committee, which is the following Monday from November the 17th to November the 21st. Finance Committee, for those who are not familiar, is the time where we go through every line item, appropriation amounts for the various different areas within government and SAGCs. Any money spent by government will go through line item, every dollar, every cent of exactly where it's going to, and then every member of parliament have the opportunity to ask the minister and the relevant chief officers questions about it. And that's Finance Committee. That will also last for 5 days. And the last thing, in December 10th, we are scheduled to have the immigration bill and any other new revenue bills, as well as the submarine cable telecommunications resilience bill in December 10th. Those bills will be debated. Mm-hmm. Now, I know that most people are probably focused on the immigration bill, which is the most topical one, and rightfully so. We would love to, at some point, discuss that a little bit further today. But before we go to a break, any other things you want to add to that?
I just mentioned that rather unfortunate for me in some ways, because I actually have to travel during those dates. Some folks may recall that I had a family member pass away a few months ago. The individual was cremated, and the actual memorial service will be happening in December, so we have to travel back for the memorial service, and more family members will be gathering around. So I won't be there, but my views will be passed on to my colleagues, and I'll be saying a few things publicly. We also intend, let's just mention, certainly I will be this week going out to constituents, asking them what their thoughts are, and sending out some information that I've received on the immigration bills, and asking for feedback. It's important that we get feedback from our constituents. So.
Okay, we have a caller on hold. We want to take the commercial break, then we can take the caller and then allow you to continue, because you have more that you want to point out there as well. Folks, please stay tuned for the record. We'll be back shortly.
When you choose Cynical Motor Insurance, you're not just getting coverage. You're joining a community that cares about protecting you and your loved ones. Why Cynical? Personalized coverage tailored to your needs. 24/7 claim service, always just a call away, and peace of mind with CARE roadside assistance for flat tires to towing, anytime, anywhere in Cayman. Ready for a quote? Visit cynical.ky. Cynical, keeping Cayman covered.
There you go, sir. Thanks for choosing JN Money Transfer.
Boy, thanks to JN Money Transfer, I can stay right here in Cayman and pay mama bills back home in Jamaica. Her water, light, phone and other bills never late. every month I pay everything in one place.
Make payments to over 30 companies in Jamaica through JN Money Transfer. Fast, affordable, convenient. Call 1-800-744-1163 for details.
Accidents and illnesses can strike without warning. Ouch! When it comes to urgent care, every second counts. At Doctors Hospital, we have a dedicated team of experienced doctors and nursing staff available to you 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Don't waste time in an overcrowded emergency room when you need urgent care. Whether it's a broken bone, a severe infection, or a sudden illness, trust in Doctors Hospital's unwavering dedication to providing the best immediate care. For complete urgent care when you need it the most, choose Doctors Hospital, located in Georgetown, 16 Middle Road.
Looking for fresh, healthy food that's full of flavor? Then you've got to visit Kirk Market. Our dishes are made with fresh, high-quality ingredients. Enjoy vibrant mixed greens or satisfying pasta salads. Or try one of our delicious grill options like blackened chicken, spicy beef steak, or grilled salmon. Looking for something light and flavorful? We've got sushi rolls and poke bowls prepared daily. And don't forget to explore a hot bar or Billy Fresh salad at the salad bar. Stop by Kirk Market today for breakfast, lunch, or dinner and taste the difference. Eat well, live well with Kirk Market.
Brand Source Home Gallery is proud to celebrate 55 years of innovative and excellent service to the Cayman Islands. To mark this milestone, we're having a 25% store-wide sale from Saturday, November 1 through to Saturday, November 15. Every department, every brand, every item. Save 25% on appliances, kitchen cabinets, custom closets, bath vanities, tubs, sinks and faucets, Tempur-Pedic mattresses, and more. Plus, enter for your chance to win a $5,000 credit towards the purchase of a complete bathroom or kitchen makeover with free design by our professional designers. Come celebrate with us and enjoy 25% savings. Hurry! Sale ends on Saturday, November 15. Brand Source Home Gallery, Dorsey Drive, Industrial Park. Call 623-5000 for more information.
For the Record with Orrett Connor.
Good morning and welcome back to For the Record. We're going straight to our caller. Good morning, welcome.
Good morning, gentlemen.
Good morning, good morning.
Good morning, good morning, good morning, sir.
Morning. Morning.
How you all doing?
Good, man.
All right. Been listening to you guys, and I heard you all say two things I would like to comment on. Kenneth, I keep hearing you say, I don't want to get into the politics of it. I really don't know what you signed up for.
Trying to be delicate.
This is politics, buddy. This is politics. I keep telling you all, there's no steeple over that building out there, you know.
I remember that well.
There's no steeple on the top of it. If you show me the steeple, then I'll appreciate that it's a church. But, you know, I recently directed you all, or gave you some information, not direct you, on accountability.
Mm-hmm.
Your job as a MP in the opposition is to keep government accountable. And you're complaining, the other thing is you're complaining about them not saying anything on the SPS. That's their business. It is you to then inform the public of what they're doing. There's a rule of thumb in politics. You do not object to the principle. It is the methods that you object to, the methods that are being used. An example, they want to build the East-West Arterial. How are they going to do it? We know the East-West Arterial is needed. You debate and object to the methods that are being used. That is the key to politics. And your job is to make the people know, because the government is providing their angle on how they're running the country. And you're the government in waiting. So you have to then tell the people that this is not good enough for you, or, we're supporting it, whichever. But don't complain about what they do when you don't have a counter proposal. And that is constructive, and I hope it's taken in that way.
Of course it is.
It's what you do. It's what you do, old boy. It's what they do, and there's a counter proposal there too. And you don't have to criticize individuals. Well, you can't really. You got to criticize the system of their system of governance, and that's what you do as opposition. So keep that in mind, please.
Thank you so much, Mr. McLean. And it's always good to have his input. But before I respond, at least from my angle, I want to say thank you so much to Mr. McLean. He came and gave some contribution at the post-election seminar.
Yeah, I want to share that. I have a copy of it, and I want to share excerpts of it.
It's just so amazing.
We finally got our copy yesterday.
I think it's almost like a Bible for anybody who wants to become an MP. Probably one of the most knowledgeable politicians, Cayman's political history, Mr. Arden McLean. Thank you so much. I love you. I appreciate everything you taught me while you were in opposition. Now, let's get to your comments. Yes, you're right. There's no staple over the parliament. And basically what you said to us is time to, as he would say, time to beat man. So I'm trying to be more diplomatic and saying, I'm not here trying to be too political, because the public expects a level of diplomacy and carrying out. So I can be a lot harder. I definitely believe that. But when it's time to, as you would say, Mr. McLean, beat man, trust me, Kenneth, Bryan, and the opposition will do so. But with that being said, we're not complaining. We're holding to account. This is a different style, maybe a little bit different than the way you used to do things.
That word accountability that he used.
Yes. And we've been doing that accountability by highlighting the fact that I don't necessarily agree with the comment that it's our job to inform the public of what the government's doing. If the government don't want to inform, then tell the people what they're doing. That's what we've been saying all this time, is that it's been over a half a year into the administration, and they're still not telling us. So they release a document, and here they say, here, go read the document. That's what we're doing. I don't agree with that. So I will continue to inform the people that conventionally this is what happens, and they are choosing not to do that. That infers and tells us something.
So in Arden's words, we are objecting to the methods.
Correct. I'll leave it there, unless my colleague has anything to say in respect to that. But I think we covered the points of what's coming up in the bill. We want to now move over to the concerns of the immigration bill. First, I want to congratulate the government. They have been doing public consultation or public presentation. I'm not sure consultation, because consultation comes with a specific criteria, which is taking feedback. I don't know how.
Well, but they have provided a platform for feedback to be taken, as well as I believe those
quick
public,
to jump for defense.
Those public No, we have to be fair and we have to be balanced.
Well, sometimes you need to be balanced and fair when we present. Allow me to finish my thought before you start to defend.
Okay, go right ahead. Go right ahead, and I'll chime in afterwards.
Okay. I don't know where their public input is. I can say I was just congratulating the government for their presentations and meetings. All right, we've been, myself and the MP for Red Bay. We went to them, and I was very happy with the ability to ask questions and responses. The minister, the chief officers.
So and were people taking notes when those questions?
That's my point. Is I don't know. I'm not saying it didn't happen. I'm saying I don't know about the public consultation receiving comments. Now I've heard that they had a portal where you can send the stuff, and I'm happy. Right? I'm saying I'm not going to take account to something I don't know about. I'm assuming that is happening. So let's just start with the positive. I thank them for the presentation. They went to the sister islands. They've gone to Northside, I think, the other day.
Yeah, Northside.
But the bill, and it's necessary because the bill itself is very complicated and very long. I have myself started my process of consultation with my people where I go, okay, Georgetown Central, here's something that's happening. I don't send every bill that we debate in Parliament to them. But whenever things get really sensitive or controversial, I will start to talk to them. And this is one of those. So here's the bill. You may want to take a look at it. But most people like Ken, I don't even know where to start. This bill is so long. I'm not an attorney. So I have to kind of now get into
which is almost the case with any bill that's being put forward.
True.
If you're a lay person, you rely on persons to break it down to to the simplest level, for you as a lay person to understand it.
Correct. So the other part is sending them the link. Those people who didn't get to go to the meetings, you can review it on YouTube and give feedback. So we now want to open that door as well within the opposition. We've been doing that, saying, listen, you've heard what the government said and what their positions are and why they're presenting these things. But not everybody will agree with all of those things. Not only do I want to know what you don't agree with, I also want to know what you do agree with. Because by all means, I don't want the public to think that the opposition is coming there and saying that we don't agree with all the provisions of the bill. Actually, there's a lot of it within that bill that we're quite satisfied with. So that may be breaking news for some. But we are calculating what our job is as the opposition on behalf of the other side of the opinion, which is who speaks about those who don't like certain parts of the bill. So there has to be a voice for everybody in Parliament. So we want to hear from the public. I think we had the info@ppm.ky, if my memory is...
Email address, yeah.
Email address. You want to repeat the details so in the event that somebody wants to send us details or their viewpoints on the bill, because I don't remember it off the top of my head.
Email address?
Yes.
Yeah. It is info@ppm.ky.
Yeah, so
info@ppm.ky.
Thank you so much, Mr. Tatum. So if anybody has any concerns, viewpoints, and sometimes it's not something you can just go, oh, I didn't like that. You may want to articulate the section, the area, the intent, and some people are happy to send us an email. Or if you want to, you're not probably the tech person, you want to call any one of your members of opposition, and we will take a little time to hear what you said verbally and see if we can express that within our response on behalf of the official opposition.
And if I could go ahead.
Yeah, and I was going to say, and there are some folks out there, some constituents who may prefer just to deal directly with their MP.
Correct.
So yeah, please forward anything either via WhatsApp, questions, comments, concerns. By WhatsApp to the info@ppm.ky email address or whatever other contact you have with your PPM MP. So it's important that we actually hear from constituents. So.
Now, also, the fact that we have to bear in mind that the consultation period ends on the 14th.
14th.
Close of business, I would have thought it would have been, since they're online, submissions that can be made, I would have thought that it would have been at midnight of the 14th as opposed to close of business, because close of
14th
business,
of this month.
Yeah, we're looking at 4 or 5 o'clock in the afternoon as opposed to midnight. But I also wanted to point out to you that if you receive submissions from your constituents, you will also get another bite at the cherry, because when it comes to not only the debate, but when you go into committee stage, then you can propose amendments, as well. So you get the opportunity to do that. So, it's commendable that you're seeking feedback, because you get, 2 ways of addressing that.
And we have had individuals contacting, I've had people contacting, speaking with me as the deputy leader and others. So that has happened, but we're going to do it in a more formal fashion. I will add quickly that just last Friday, we completed, the government offered, we asked, and they provided the ability for us to sit with the chief officer and his staff and to go through the changes and to ask questions and to pass on any concerns, and all of that happened. But there was 2 sessions that ended this past Friday.
Yes.
So we're in a better place now with understanding the intent and how some of this is going to work. We still have some concerns, some things we still need to understand. I've been promised some information. I don't know if I've received it all yet. That I need to double check. But that has happened. So
a very good point. Thanks so much to CEO Howell as well as the administrative staff and the deputy chief officer and their policy advisor within that ministry. Very, very professional, very helpful, dealing with annoying questions for myself and others over and over again, trying to get the interpretation of the draft form, which leads me to another concern. The interpretation of what the legalese say within the drafting. So, for example, yesterday I found myself in quite of a predicament where, and my colleague will remember me sending out the voice note on the group chat asking about the transition section in section 35 of the bill, which is the transitional provisions. And for the average person who does not understand what the transitional provisions meaning is the clause that allows for grandfathering of persons, meaning this covers who will not be affected by these changes. So I had to interpret exactly the way they have drafted it as to say, what exactly does that mean? And now we're starting to hear people call in.
One of our callers on my show called in and expressed the same concern. Yeah.
And what I interpret it to mean, and by all means, I went to university, I have a degree, I've been in politics, I got experience, but I'm not a lawyer. So as a member of opposition, we go back to the support systems available to it. So I went to my clerk of Parliament, who is an attorney, and the support team. I said, can you tell me, because I want to make sure my debate is right, and I'm not incorrect by this, because first there was an interpretation that the transitional provision means that everybody will be grandfathered in, and it's only people who are coming into the Cayman Islands after the law is passed moving forward, because the word certificates as opposed to RERC. And again, the importance of me having access to an attorney to say, this means X, Kenneth, as from a legalese perspective. I know you want to go to a break, but I have to finish the point.
Sure.
The fact that I could not get a lawyer shows that I do not have the support to do my job.
And that's why you need that support in, that legislative support in our
Parliament.
Parliament.
More than that. And we'll talk more about that when we get back.
Folks, top of the hour headline news, and I believe we do have a caller on hold. Please stay tuned for the record. We'll be back shortly.
From Radio Cayman's newsroom, this is Headlines. Local, regional, international news.
The Headline News is brought to you by Kirk Market and Health Services Authority.
Customs and Border Control is honoring the life and service of late colleague Senior Customs and Border Control Officer Glarman Bobo Grant. As a result, the unit's cargo processing unit is closing at 12:30 today. In international news, Zohran Mamdani wins the New York City mayoral race as Democrats swept the first major election of Donald Trump's second term. The 34-year-old becomes New York City's first Muslim mayor and youngest person in over a century to lead the largest city in the U.S. Mamdani said in a victory speech, quote, "In this moment of political darkness, New York will be the light." U.S. President Donald Trump had threatened to cut NYC's federal funding if Mamdani won over independent Andrew Cuomo and Republican Curtis Sliwa. Meanwhile, Democrats are projected to win governor races in Virginia and New Jersey. And Californians have voted to redraw the state's congressional districts to favor the Democratic Party ahead of next year's elections. And at least 7 people have been killed after a cargo plane ran off the runway and burst into flames in Kentucky on Tuesday. The burning aircraft, which was operated by the American delivery company UPS, struck several buildings when it crashed mid-takeoff. Officials fear the number of dead and injured could rise. Those are your headlines. I'm Karsley Fuller.
More news available at www.radiocayman.gov.ky. Check out our social media pages: Facebook, YouTube, X, formerly Twitter, Radio Cayman Headline News.
At HSA, we strive to provide the highest standard of care with compassion, integrity, and dedication. And so we say thank you, Cayman, for continuing to make us the most awarded organization on island by voting us the best of Cayman Islands in 9 medical categories. Your support reminds us why we do what we do, to serve the Cayman community with kindness and excellence. To find out more about our award-winning services, visit hsa.ky. At HSA, we are committed to caring for you.
Looking for fresh, healthy food that's full of flavor? Then you've got to visit Kirk Market. Our dishes are made with fresh, high-quality ingredients. Enjoy vibrant mixed greens or satisfying pasta salads. Or try one of our delicious grill options like blackened chicken, spicy beef steak, or grilled salmon. Looking for something light and flavorful? We've got sushi rolls and poke bowls prepared daily. And don't forget to explore a hot bar or Billy Fresh salad at the salad bar. Stop by Kirk Market today for breakfast, lunch, or dinner and taste the difference. Eat well, live well with Kirk Market.
For the Record with Orrett Connor.
Good morning. Welcome back to For the Record. In the studio with me, MP Mr. Roy Tatum and Deputy Leader of the Opposition and Member of Parliament, Mr. Kenneth Bryan. Caller on hold. Caller, good morning. Welcome to For the Record.
Yes, good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Yes, I read from, I think it was either the Net News or the Compass, that we had over 2,500 written in submission as it relates to the amendment, the immigration amendment bill.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that is a significant amount. I think from me following politics in the island, I haven't heard of that kind of response to any bill. So, which means that the people are engaged. My concern, though, is that the paper went on to say that none of those submissions will be made public.
Mm-hmm.
I think, though, that since that is a significant amount of contribution, and I think enough to influence the decision makers, those submissions should have been uploaded to somewhere, some kind of platform that the public should have access to them to scrutinize them. And the fact that, according to the paper, they will not be made public begs the question if the process is transparent. I'm just wondering what the members of Parliament think about that. Thank you.
Good question.
If I could add, because I also inquired with regards to the number of closed-door consultations with a variety of groups. So I did ask if the feedback from that could be provided to us. You don't have to have names,
Mm-hmm.
but just what the feedback was, and we were told, sorry, not available to you. So.
Mm-hmm. Well, what about a summary of some of the feedback that they have received without going into specific details? Like let's say, for instance, in relation to what example can I use? Let me look at the bill itself and say, in relation to an annual declaration for that has to be made, and someone made a suggestion or a comment in terms of the consultation to that. So they could actually list it under various headings if they wanted to, and at the same time ensuring that the anonymity remains as well.
Keyword you use if they wanted to,
Yeah.
or keywords rather if they wanted to.
Well, I mean, just to give my my offering to the caller's question, whether we think this is fair, I think there has to be, obviously, the privacy of persons,
Mhm.
personal names and so forth, but a summary of it should be detailed and made public, in my opinion. But the question that there's 2,500 written submissions, and I think there are going to be a whole lot more between now and the 14th, I have a criticism, whether it's fair or not, the public can decide. I personally think this bill was released right in the midst of the SBS. Now, the close-off date is going to be in the middle of the budget. And I'm a politician, OC, and I know the rest of my friends in Parliament, they're politicians too. That was not just done unintentionally. It was done intentionally, so there's lack of attention to the document, and we don't have time. You know what we have to do to examine and critique a strategic policy statement and articulate ourselves in a balanced way. And now we're going to have to deal with potentially a 1,500-page document budget. What we're going to have to do to pay attention to that.
But the budget will be over when you go to the budget will be over, and in December, when the bill comes to be, you would have already been finished with the budget.
Fair enough.
So you got to be able to walk and chew gum at the same time. And my question would be, aren't we?
Well, let me answer your first one first.
Yeah, but I'll give you another one at the same time.
Okay, I'll walk and chew gum.
Aren't we holding this government to higher standard in terms of the presentation of bills and consultation that we have held any other government to?
No, but I'm going to answer your questions now. So we talk about, well, the presentation of the bill is not until next month. I agree with you. But you also know that we have a role of presenting to the public the complexities of this bill. Right? We recognize the bill is complex. You want to make sure you critique it and say, well, what does this mean? What is the outcome? And every person, including yourself, have to read it and say, what does this mean? What is the intent? Are we accomplishing the intent? Now, if the consultation period for the public is over on the 14th, while their official opposition is busy focusing on the SPS and the budget, do you think we can go out there and help the people explain and understand what the interpretation of this is? I'm not talking about when we go out there and debate it, The 14th is in the middle of the budget debate. We cannot, we don't have the time.
But everybody's calling and saying, listen, we want change. We want
now?
Change. You promised us, everybody had it on in their manifesto. We want changes to our immigration policy. We want changes to our immigration law. We want our new law to be called the Caymanian Protection Law, for it to revert back to all of it.
And that's
if they didn't do that, we would say, listen, they promised all of this, and what have we seen so far? Absolutely nothing.
No, I'm not disputing that it shouldn't come, but that's not what we're saying. That's not what we're saying. What we're saying is how you present, how you go about it is essential for the critique, and I know the word critique and criticism is sound from a negative perspective, but it's actually a filtering process so we get this right. The truth is, the opposition is in support of 95% of the bill. That's not what we're talking about. We're talking about the process so that we don't screw this up, because the delicate balance of our immigration system and its connectivity to how our economy runs, if you do this wrong and we get this wrong and we become an unattractive jurisdiction for the labor market that we offer from a service perspective, dog eat our supper. And you and I know that.
But do you think there's anything in this part of the bill? Because there's more to come later on. There's a lot more to come in terms of what will then be called the Caymanian Protection Law. But do you believe that there's anything in this bill that would put us, in that predicament?
Well, the truth is, you just talked about the fact of saying, oh, the people want it now, and the changes that they want. The truth is, nothing in this bill actually changes anything that the people have been fighting
but
about.
You're contradicting yourself now. You're contradicting yourself now.
No, I don't think so.
Yes, you are.
How so? Explain. Let's let it.
Because you're saying that it is so important, and then you say there's nothing that changes anything.
No. You didn't hear what I said. I said the issues that the people are talking about, let's talk about that, right? We want population control. We also want the pressures on the housing market to be eased up, as well as security for job opportunities. Those are the top three amongst the immigration reform that we want to see. So I'm saying to you, and you have been in immigration a long time, you see what 10 main principles of this bill may be. The biggest thing that's in this is dealing with marriages of convenience, kicking the can down the road for 5 years for persons to be able to apply for RERC. And I dare say that we haven't fixed the problem, but we can wait till the debate time to talk about that. But there are further restrictions. I think the greatest piece of this legislation is the ability for the director of work to be able to have the discretion to address the marriages of convenience, because the burden of proof is now switched from the department to the applicant. That's the biggest strength of this. Otherwise than that, the ability to get jobs in Cayman has not changed even when this bill is passed. What you actually have done is reduce the opportunity for a man and his wife, or a wife and her husband, to be able to have family life. What they've done is extended to 15 years. Nobody should have a right to tell a person who they love and what benefits they get. Now, what you could have done, and I will debate this in Parliament, is you should have extended the revocable period of a status when you get it, when you're married to a Caymanian. You should not have now examined it 8 years more. A man and his wife, a woman and her husband have to wait before they become a part of the Caymanian family while they are children. Your Caymanian children, now you're married to a Caymanian, your Caymanian children, 11, 12 years, looking at their mama or their daddy and say, but you're not a part of this family? No, I'm not Caymanian like you yet. You know what emotional damage you're doing to children when you could have prevented the same problem by just simply say, you got the status, but it's revocable for a longer period of time just in case you have a marriage of convenience. This whole aggressive tone of division is not going to fix the problem. We do have an issue, but we got to be very delicate of how we go about it. Sorry, I'll stop there.
No, very, very good. I'm going to make sure that I listen to this debate. Today I can't be on the floor. We're going to take a commercial break. We have a caller on hold. Folks, please stay tuned. And this is all in good spirit in terms of what we're discussing here.
Agreed.
We're not arguing. We're not rubbing. There's no hate involved.
No.
All in good spirit. Please stay tuned. For the record, we'll be back shortly.
Shipping to the Cayman Islands is fast, reliable, and seamless thanks to Cayman Airways Cargo. Need it faster than ocean freight? Cayman Airways Cargo offers multiple cargo flights to Grand Cayman from Miami weekly, so your packages, whether big, small, or in between, will arrive in no time. You can even use a Cayman Airways Cargo US address for your online shopping. Cayman Airways Cargo is also the only carrier providing air freight services for Cayman Brac and Little Cayman. Contact us today and see why Cayman Airways Cargo was voted as Cayman's best cargo and logistics company in the Best of Cayman Awards. For details, visit CaymanAirways.com/cargo.
When you choose Cineco Motor Insurance, you're not just getting coverage. You're joining a community that cares about protecting you and your loved ones. Why Cineco? Personalized coverage tailored to your needs. 24/7 claim service, always just a call away. And peace of mind with CARE roadside assistance for flat tires to towing anytime, anywhere in Cayman. Ready for a quote? Visit Cineco.ky. Cineco, keeping Cayman covered.
Did you know that Doctors Hospital provides urgent care services 24 hours a day, 7 days a week? And Doctors Hospital's urgent care physicians have access to the most advanced MRI and CT imaging in the Caribbean, providing reliable diagnostics when you need it most. When you need quality urgent care for an illness or injury, Doctors Hospital is here for you 24/7. Whether it's a migraine, chest or abdominal pain, shortness of breath, broken bones, or another urgent need, Doctors Hospital at the top of Walker's Road. Urgent care right now.
At Kirk's Home Center, we can make your life much better. We got it all together. We got a great deal in store for you. From cookware to stereos, from power tools to plumbing supplies. Yeah, we got the best goods with the best price and a service to make you smile. Kirk's Home Center. Got a great deal in store for you.
For the Record with Orrett Connor.
Good morning. Welcome back to For the Record. For those of you who are just joining us in the studio with me, MP Mr. Roy Tatum, Deputy Leader and MP Mr. Kenneth Bryan, caller on hold. Caller, good morning. Welcome to For the Record.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning, sir. How you doing?
Well, if I take governance into consideration, it would be sad. If I exclude it, I'm okay. I have a riddle for the host.
Mm-hmm.
I'm thinking about immigration, and I want you to guess what's on my mind.
I'm not good at guessing. As a matter of fact,
and neither am I, which is why.
And my luck is my luck is such that if there was a drawing, and there were 3 prizes, and there were 3 persons who qualified to draw, and I was one of those 3, I would still not get the prize, either prize. That's the.
I share that sentiment. Well, the reason why it's important that we can't guess to appreciate that is that the government is telling us that the regulations are not ready yet, right? So we don't actually know what's going to be the case. And immigration is very heavily influenced by regulation. So understanding what is really being said to us is not possible.
Yeah, a good point.
And if I don't have the information with which I can make a decision about whether I like what's being said, how can I possibly give you informed consent?
Very good point.
And if I don't give you informed consent, how can you claim to legislate with the consent of the public? Now, I want to say something about wanting to name it the Cayman Islands Protection Act, okay? Or Caymanian Protection Act. If I was to go to General Registry and I open a company called the best burger in the entire world, does that mean that my burgers are the best in the world, or that that's just what my company
is
named? See, what I'm driving at here is unless I can see and know what is actually being done in the text of the law and the regulations, I cannot properly be consulted. It is not legitimate to argue that because you're calling it Caymanian Protection Act, that somehow means we're being protective.
Yeah, good point.
And when you sit and you listen to the government explain what they want us to understand about how the law would work, that's like sitting down across the table from someone negotiating a contract, and you're relying on them to tell you what the contract means. That's foolishness. That's dumb. And furthermore, the question that I asked at the Marimilla Hall about Section 83A, subsection 7, Mr. Howell is smart enough to answer that question in a more simplified way that the public, the average person could understand. Yes, Denny, in answer to your question, yes, non-Caymanians would be exempted from this legislation. But he chose to word it in a way that was as clear as mud. Now, I chose not to debate him at the time, but it's not because I was happy with his answer. The problem that I'm having here is that the public isn't being properly consulted on a piece of legislation that has tremendous impact on every single person, and it's going to go on for a long period of time. We should not. The government has an obligation under Section 5(2)A of the Public Service Management Act to act morally. And I'm saying to you that they're breaching that section of law because they are not being completely upfront with the public about all. They're saying it, but not in a way that the average person can really appreciate what's being said.
Mr. Denny, I think I have to agree with you, and if I can, I'll just say that don't think about what he said from a negative perspective. He wants to give you supported consultation, but he can't answer the question because Denny's the type of person like this: trust but verify. Like, okay, I hear your government, you want to do this. Okay, let me see it for myself and see if I come to that same conclusion. And then he reads it and say, well, I need the other piece of the act, the regulations, to come to the conclusion of where you say you're trying to take us. But I don't see it for myself. So he has a point, and I'm having similar problems.
I can understand wanting it and the need for it. But when we look from a practical standpoint, you tell me how many times that we have had bills go to our parliament, our legislature, become law, and then you have to do the regulations after, simply because you don't know what the final document is going to say. You can prepare the regulations in anticipation, but you don't know what the actual bill that is going to come out of Parliament is going to be. You can only prepare your regulations after that has been finalized. I want to thank the caller for that. We're going to grab another caller. I believe it's a WhatsApp caller. Caller, good morning. Welcome to For the Record.
Good morning, OC, and the honorable members of Parliament there.
Good morning. Good morning, Billy. Go.
Yeah, I hope I can do this in 2 minutes. First of all, the time for consultation. I agree with the Honorable Bryan and the other person who called in that it's not enough, and even the manner in which it's being done is not correct. You see, I'm very grateful to the other caller who said, look, there are about 2,500 comments, and it seems that there's going to be more. I mean, sometimes the issue about comments is that you will find that comment number 1 and comment number 7 are saying the opposite. They are contradictory to each other, so that government needs time to be able to work out a compromise. And you need then thereafter to talk about it, like put it in the whole cauldron, so to speak, and then come out with something which might not have been originally suggested by anybody, but is just a compromise. That is why this required a white paper. Okay. What you needed is to have, first of all, a green paper. That is a paper which will contain what the proposals of the government are and so forth, and they'll send in the comments, and then later on you publish a white paper which says the comments we received were so many, and most of them said this and so on and so forth. That gives a better consultative process for something this major, because in my view this is the most important immigration legislation that has never been ever been done in the last 20 years. Okay, and then you look at the memorandum of objects and reasons. When I was in government, I suggested that the way we write our memorandum of objects and reasons doesn't help. For example, relating to the transitional issue that has been raised, the memorandum says, well, there are some transitional provisions in clause, the new clause 83A. Then you go there, you can't understand it. Now, I can understand it halfway because I know technically how it's done, but there's some wording there even I don't understand. For example, this memorandum should have said...
And you're a drafter.
Yeah, I'm a drafter. You should have said very clearly that those people who are in government and those who are who will already be in Cayman by December the 31st, those will not be affected. If that's what you want to do, I want to see that in the memorandum of the objects and reasons, because it's too fundamental. Finally, the issue of regulations, OC, the issue about regulations is that regulations are supposed to deal with details. What they are trying to do now, they want to deal with some major issues of principle, including transitional provisions in regulations. I think it's somewhere around clause 33. They say, well, cabinet may determine other issues relating to limitations, conditions, as well as transitional provisions. Those are issues of principle. They should go in the bill. And let me tell you this, in Australia, for example, they insist very often that if you are going to have regulations, they want to see a draft of at least what they will look like, because they don't want to give you carte blanche to go and make regulations.
But Billy, let's skip.
That's not possible.
Billy, let's skip Australia. Let's forget about Australia. You as a legislative draft person, how many times have you seen regulations actually be prepared before it becomes the bill becomes law?
Mistakes continue being made in government.
Doesn't make it right.
This is yet another mistake. And I can speak authoritatively about this because I had offered in government to train people, and even after I left, to train people on how to deal with legislation, like even from the process level. They never wanted it, and as a result, they continue making these mistakes, which are not very good in a democratic society. I thank you. I'll let you go.
Before you go, Billy, you may want to know that you did receive credit from Mr. Arden McLean in terms of your contribution to parliamentary procedure in his presentation to the Parliament recently as well.
And he referred to your book
yes.
as being necessary reading.
Exactly.
Billy, before you go, though, just to mention,
I think he may have left.
Oh, he left. All right. Well, hopefully he's listening. OC, we were told that there are draft regs. They exist.
We have asked from.
I wrote down regs here because I was going to bring it up. So we asked about them, and it was said, should be possible to let you see the draft regs. I'll find out. Response back was, sorry, the minister has decided that you can't see the draft regs. So again, if it exists, what's the issue with the opposition being able to see them? What's the issue possibly with the wider public being able to see where your thought process is going? So because what we're being asked to do, and I hear you. I personally have never ever thought that the correct thing was for major changes that regulations should only be done by cabinet, and the public isn't aware until it is gazetted. You wake up in the morning, and here's the new regs, right? Here's the new change. I personally have always had a problem with that, so I'll put that up front. But I'm going to be going in and asked to vote on this. Well, sadly I won't be there. I'll be traveling that day. But if I was, I'd be being asked to vote on this, and I know that I don't know the full picture. So what am I voting for? I'm voting for just these words on a page, but what is the end result, full end result going to be? I won't know it. There's no reason they could not have shared the draft regulation.
I want to answer your question because you're going to say it again. You're going to say it again about
holding at a higher standard.
No.
That's what I'm going to say. That you're holding this government to a higher standard on a particular piece of legislation that people have asked for changes to be made. We all know that there is no.
Well, I'm going to accept the fact that you are the control of this government.
There is no
the last piece. But
there is no public. There is.
Can you give me the opportunity to explain to you why
there is no
right?
perfect legislation. There is no perfect legislation, and we have seen over and over again, irrespective of how perfect we may try to be, that amendments have to be made. This is only a portion of the immigration changes that are due to be made, and don't forget. Don't forget the premise. The opposition will have their say, but the government must have their day. It is the government's bill at the end of the day. We have to go to the commercial break. Sorry about that. Folks, please stay tuned for the record. We'll be back shortly.
My mom's a superhero. She always knows what to do when I feel icky. Yesterday, we went to West Bay Pharmacy, and they had everything she needed. Medicine, my favorite Band-Aids with dinosaurs, and even flavored vitamins. Mom says they keep our family healthy. I think they're magic. But don't tell anyone. I think superheroes shop at West Bay Pharmacy. West Bay Pharmacy, where the superheroes shop. West Bay Pharmacy and Centennial Towers. Convenient quality care is just around the corner.
Your dream home starts with a vision, and often inspiration is at the heart of that vision. Brand Source Home Gallery's in-house designers are here to help bring your vision to life. Whether you're remodeling or building a new home, Brand Source Home Gallery is your one-stop solution. Explore their kitchen cabinets, sinks, faucets, bath fixtures, tubs, vanities, and more. Let Brand Source's designers help and inspire you with your next project. Call 623-5000 and schedule an appointment with a design expert at Brand Source Home Gallery, Dorsey Drive, Industrial Park, serving Cayman for 50 years.
Looking for fresh, healthy food that's full of flavor? Then you've got to visit Kirk Market. Our dishes are made with fresh, high-quality ingredients. Enjoy vibrant mixed greens or satisfying pasta salads. Or try one of our delicious grill options like blackened chicken, spicy beef steak, or grilled salmon. Looking for something light and flavorful? We've got sushi rolls and poke bowls prepared daily. And don't forget to explore a hot bar or Billy Fresh salad at the salad bar. Stop by Kirk Market today for breakfast, lunch, or dinner and taste the difference. Eat well, live well with Kirk Market.
The Family Resource Center, FRC, is excited to announce the 14th Annual International Men's Day IMD celebration in the Cayman Islands. This year's global theme, Celebrating Men and Boys, aligns with our vision to promote a healthy, hopeful, and resilient population, promoting initiatives to support men and boys in our community. We invite you to engage in our many events, including our 6th Annual Men and Boys Basketball Tournament, Saturday, November 1st, the 4th Annual State of Men and Boys Forum on November 19th, the Men and Boys Domino Tournament in partnership with Boys to Men, and learn more about our male mentorship drive throughout the month, and in partnership with 1-to-1 Young Gentlemen's Club and Boys to Men with a final celebratory event on November 29th. Follow us on social media to learn more or email frc@gov.ky today.
The 8:12 a.m. weather report, Monday through Friday, is proudly sponsored by CG Britcay. Insurance, health, pensions, life, where people come first.
For the Record with Orrett Connor.
Good morning and welcome back to For the Record. We have a caller on hold. We're going to make that the last caller, but I want to clarify something before. And again, this is just a conversation that's going on. There's no animosity whatsoever. Never. But the deputy leader of the opposition did mention the fact that he does recognize that this is a government radio station and I basically, control everything. I just want to make it quite clear that my views do not represent the views of the government. I am not the spokesperson for the government. And the same way when Minister Bryan's government was in charge of the administration, when they needed defending and when I felt that they were doing something right, they were giving kudos for it. And when I felt that they were doing something wrong, I would chastise them for it. And as long as there is breath in my body, I will continue to do that as long as I am on this radio station.
As long as that beard
remains great. Let's grab the caller.
Mr. OC, you continue to do that. Stop, please. I'm begging you, kindly.
To do what?
To respond. You can't say that and then just cut us off from being able to respond.
You will get your opportunity when you get the mic. We are going to the caller at this point in time. Caller, good morning. Welcome to For the Record.
Good morning.
Morning.
Mr. Connor, you argued that that the bill should go to the House without the regulations because you don't know what the bill would actually end up being. The proper way to do it is whatever bill you send to the House, you should send the regulations for that bill at the time. And if there are issues to be worked out in the what is it called? The committee, at the committee stage, then whatever changes that are being proposed, the public can listen in light of their understanding of the regulations and the law and make representation to their MPs about what ought to be argued at the committee stage for the final bill.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think it's appropriate to exclude the regulations. In fact, the regulations on a subject as impactful as this one, those regulations perhaps should be agreed upon by the House, not just by the Cabinet.
Okay.
I'll leave it there for now.
Thank you very much. Now, Mr. Bryan.
I agree with him.
You have the mic.
Thank you so much, Mr. Connor. I'm going to try my endeavor best to kind of bring this back around to a more positive place because sadly it's gone down a different area. I don't agree with your tactics in respect to...
Yeah, but you were the one that said about being a government radio station. I'm going to interrupt you every time because you, Mr. Bryan, you have a way of sometimes not admitting when you have misstepped and misspoken.
Okay, well, let me finish and I'll explain to you.
Good.
So when I say a government radio station, I didn't mean as in the government of the day. This station is owned by the Caymanian people, the government.
Yes.
Right? And what my point is that we, the opposition, who also represents the people, you may not, some people, not you particularly, some people may not like the fact that some people voted for us, but we represent a large population of people in this country too. And the taxpayers, their money also help pay for this radio station.
Mm-hmm.
So when I say the government, I'm not meaning the government of the day. I'm not saying that you're sided with them. I think you interpreted that wrong. But this is a government radio station. And our job and our obligation for this radio station is to give the official opposition the right to come and present their positions. Now, granted, I see the job of a host is to, give analytic different point of views.
And to moderate.
But we get to a point where we can't even get the chance to say our point before you cut us off, because you obviously have a position, and that's right. You have a right. Matter of fact, it's good for you to give articulations to this because of your many years of exposure to the topic of immigration. But I'm saying to you is you're not even giving us our right as the opposition on a government-paid radio station, not government TCCP, what I call it. I'm talking about the PPM voters also pay for this building and also have a right to have their say on a Wednesday without interruption. But hear me out.
Come on. You're now seeking to change the rules that we have operated under. Are you telling me that you should be able to talk and I not intervene?
I'll leave it there. You don't agree. That's okay. But I just want to continue to say this, that the purpose of this is to give the opposition's viewpoint. And if anybody out there who wants to give a different feedback, because I heard that some of the callers have concerns, just like we do. And if you want to give us more formal positions, the different clause sections, please send us that information at info@ppm.ky or call us directly each so we can go about it. I've said my piece. We can disagree on that. I love you and I respect you. You know that, OC. But I'm going to stand my ground in respect to our opportunity. You cut me off 7 times today before I was able to conclude, and I have a job to do. You have your job to do, and you both do that.
I don't think I cut you off every time. I may have intervened before you got a chance to speak. That's the difference. There's a difference between cutting you off. And let me point out, because you know me. You and I have the same character, so,
That's
the reason that the opposition is on here and that you have opposition Wednesdays is because when I was approached to do this show, I was approached to do it to present the government's views. I said, no, I'm not going to represent anybody's views. And if the government wants to be on the show, we need to have space for the opposition as well. So I championed that.
No doubt. No, I'm not disputing that. I'm not saying that you don't stand for things the opposition does. But your that position that you just highlighted is a one to be highlighted and giving you credit for that. But even if the government, whoever that government was that told you that, to say they want to use some of the PPM voters' money, taxpayers' money, to have a show only for the government, I'm going to tell you this. I would stand up and say you need to have equally the opposite, have an opposition show. So regardless of whether they're asking you particularly to present the government's position and you rightfully said, no, I don't think that's fair because I would like to offer a balanced approach, that doesn't mean it's right. It does not mean it's right. There are other people out there who do not agree with things this government does. And in every capacity, in every country that you have, democracy cannot walk on one leg. You need the other half of it. So the argument that you're putting forward to say, at one point, this was only going to be a government show, there's no way in the world the taxpayers' money were going to be able to have a show only about the government. Otherwise, I spend taxes too.
Why are we getting into the?
But you just brought up the fact.
I brought up the fact as to why now you're getting into, into the grass in relation to
I'm responding
whether or
to
not there should be an opposition.
I think it supports.
My point was to you to say to you that I am not leaning in either direction.
Okay.
And that started with insisting that if there's going to be a show, we're going to have opposite views.
And I give you credit for that,
to
sir.
that.
And I support
that's
you.
all I was trying to clarify. But
all right. Roy, you were going to say something?
No, I just said fair enough.
Fair enough. That's done. Okay, so
I think we need to move on.
Yeah, I think we do. and for those who may be new to the Cayman Islands and the politics of things, this is how we deliberate, we talk, and then we go eat some turtle meat afterwards.
Yeah.
Anyway, with that being said, again, highlighting the fact that if you have any concerns, questions about this bill, it is very technical. You may need some legal interpretation to some sections. Please do send us questions, concerns, written ones at info@ppm.ky, and to each individual MP. I want to say that there are strategic areas within this bill that are very good. So let's talk about the good stuff right now, right? So you heard me say the feedback of the things that we liked within the bill. One was the addressing of the validation of bills, of fees being collected. Because it's something that I think the AG's chambers and the Law Reform Commission needs to go through all the legislation that charges taxes and fees to the people that do not have the authority in law to do so, to do a validation amendment to all bills. And I say that to say that this bill is covering that now, whereby they're charging taxes and fees, but don't technically have strong support within law to do so. That's why it's called the Transition, Amendment, and Validation Bill, right? So I'm glad that they're clarifying that, because we may find ourselves quite similar in the situation of what happened with Orrett. You may remember recently that Orrett lost a case to C3. C3 went to court and said, you don't have statute and law to charge me for these fees. And ultimately, I think the ruling was that the Orrett has to pay them back all the money they collected. And what that has now done is called into question. I haven't seen any formal applications or anything yet, but what is Digicel and Flow going to now do as a result of that? Because they weren't validated within law to be able to charge those fees. So I'm happy about that, because now the government will not be exposed to that. And that part I want approved right away. I want approved tomorrow before somebody files a case of some sort. But I'm worried about what's going to happen with Flow and Digicel now for those collection of fees from Orrett without the validation for it. The other part that I said before that was very positive was the level of discretion necessary to put the onus on the applicant to prove the marriage is not marriage of convenience. I think that's the only way we can truly have any strength in dealing with this marriage of convenience component, which is rampant as a part to what I've been told. But we're still waiting for the results and the data on that. I think it is rampant. I know enough on the ground in the community of behaviors that you see are inappropriate, and you hear stories that obviously that's a marriage of convenience. But the truth is, almost all marriages are marriages of convenience. How far the law allows that convenience is what's within question. And the ability for the director of work to be able to determine that within some standard and criteria is important, because it gives them a stronger fight against that action. The unfortunate thing that we've highlighted is we don't know what criteria or standard the discretion will be held to, because it can't just be absolute discretion, because that allows for the opportunity of potential abuse of power. It has to be within some parameters from a discretion. And you can, I don't know how you use whether international standard or you create a standard yourself, but I think that this is another thing that is quite similar to the regulations that you want to see first before you give that absolute power. So we ask for these things like, where's the draft regulation, so I can know that I'm supporting you on this, that this is where this is going to be lead. Because if the regulations are different from what is presented to you, it could mean a totally different thing. So you can't expect absolute support without the total package of what the outcome would be, is basically what we're saying. But I think we're going to
go to our last commercial break. Folks, please stay tuned for the record. We'll be back shortly.
She hear clunk and her car stop. I was just about to send her some money, so I send it straight to her JN Money Transfer card. It cost me less, and perhaps she use the card, pay the garage right away. She'll get discount through the JN Rewards program in Jamaica. This card make things easy. You can even get funds at any multi-link ATM.
JN Money Transfer Card. Fast, affordable, convenient. Tell your loved ones in Jamaica about it. Sign up is free.
My mom's a superhero. She always knows what to do when I feel icky. Yesterday, we went to West Bay Pharmacy, and they had everything she needed. Medicine, my favorite band-aids with dinosaurs, and even flavored vitamins. Mom says they keep our family healthy. I think they're magic. But don't tell anyone. I think superhero shop at West Bay Pharmacy. West Bay Pharmacy, where the superhero shop. West Bay Pharmacy and Centennial Towers. Convenient quality care is just around the corner.
Shipping to the Cayman Islands is fast, reliable, and seamless thanks to Cayman Airways Cargo. Need it faster than ocean freight? Cayman Airways Cargo offers multiple cargo flights to Grand Cayman from Miami weekly, so your packages, whether big, small, or in between, will arrive in no time. You can even use a Cayman Airways Cargo US address for your online shopping. Cayman Airways Cargo is also the only carrier providing air freight services for Cayman Brac and Little Cayman. Contact us today and see why Cayman Airways Cargo was voted as Cayman's best cargo and logistics company in the Best of Cayman Awards. For details, visit CaymanAirways.com/cargo.
The Family Resource Center, FRC, is excited to announce the 14th Annual International Men's Day IMD celebration in the Cayman Islands. This year's global theme, Celebrating Men and Boys, aligns with our vision to promote a healthy, hopeful, and resilient population, promoting initiatives to support men and boys in our community. We invite you to engage in our many events, including our 6th Annual Men and Boys Basketball Tournament, Saturday, November 1st, the 4th Annual State of Men and Boys Forum on November 19th, the Men and Boys Domino Tournament in partnership with Boys to Men, and learn more about our male mentorship drive throughout the month, and in partnership with 1-to-1 Young Gentlemen's Club and Boys to Men with a final celebratory event on November 29th. Follow us on social media to learn more or email frc@gov.ky today.
RC Fusion is proudly brought to you by TCE Paint Shop, Farmers and Artisans Retail Market, and My Candle Cleaners. RC Fusion, weekdays 10 a.m. to 12 midday, right here on Radio Cayman 89.9.
RC Fusion.
Radio Cayman Energy. For the Record with Orrett Connor.
Good morning. Welcome back to For the Record. We're on the last leg of the show this morning with MP Mr. Roy Tatum, who represents the constituency of Red Bay, and Deputy Leader of the Opposition and Member of Parliament representing Georgetown Central, Mr. Kenneth Bryan. Gentlemen, the mic is yours.
Mr. Connor, I just want to finish off on one last point in respect to this area about the current draft Immigration Transition Amendment and Validation Bill 2025, and then kind of wrap up our thoughts and conclusions today, because Parliament does start, and let's deal with the budget before we continue to deal with immigration. But there is one point that somebody just sent me a message, and I know I had that correct in my mind. It said, can you please highlight the point that not all regulation is done in cabinet. There's some regulations that have to come to Parliament for approval. Yes. Now, we have to ask ourselves the question, why does some have to come to Parliament for approval and why some can be done in Cabinet? And it's the significance of the regulations why you don't take the, I wouldn't say risk, but you don't allow the authority of such permission to be only done in the executive arm. You want the whole country to see it and examine it. And in my humble opinion, the significance that it relates to the changes in your economy, your labor market, and the ancillary effects of it, the regulations, in my humble opinion, should also come to Parliament for approval. But we haven't heard anything about that. And I personally will be bringing it up as something that I think should be obligatory. Particularly, there's some things that you don't get the power to just do it in secret in Cabinet, because it's too significant to the Caymans. It almost, though it's regulatory, which makes it easier accessible for approval, and you can do it within the cabinet context. The purpose of regulations in the first place is secondary legislation, is all it really is. So you can get to do it quickly. You can change the fees, a schedule, a minor amendment. But if it fundamentally changes the principal thought of the law, then you got to come back down to Parliament. And I think this falls within that position.
They call it the braces and bridges,
yes,
the regulations.
Which is why early on, I mentioned that for a long time now, I've had concern about important bits of piece of regulations being done, not being done in Parliament, where all could see, could be debated, but it's done within the cabinet, and the only time the public knows about it is when it's gazetted.
Mm-hmm.
This immigration is one such that I think should come to the Parliament.
Mm-hmm.
The public should be aware of all the changes that are happening or are being considered. So I will leave it. I will leave it at that. But it's something I've felt for many years, and it's something I would like to see change going forward.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I mentioned off air, we were talking about the fact that Cabinet is also under most legislation, and I believe it is in the current immigration law as well, to issue directives to the boards. As a matter of fact, in the earlier years, that was basically what was done. Directives were issued by Cabinet to the Work Permit Board, to the Status and PR Board, and everything. Do you have a view in relation to those? Should those also be put before Parliament?
I don't necessarily think, because they're policy-driven.
They should be public, but not as a put cabinet.
They're policy-driven, so they're not legislation. You got to understand the difference between the two. One is by law obligatory. One is by the discretion of the government of the day. And those directions have to be only by way of policy. It can't be by way of law.
Mm-hmm.
So that would be my answer to that question. The other part that is essential, the argument that was being put forward is that you want to be able to analyze the changes to immigration in a holistic way.
Exactly.
Right? And the things that I think that we all should be considered at the same time, and I understand the call for the public is we need something done now, and we don't want to delay this anymore. And you're right to say that, because the people are sick and tired of it being kicked down the road.
But I think people want it done right.
But that's my point.
Right.
There's a delicate balance between done
not necessarily rushed,
quickly, but doing it right. And I think that what you could potentially be risking by haste is a significant damage to our very delicate immigration structure, upon which we are a service-based industry, and within that service, the labor component is a very important part. But the people, the voters of this country, are tired of the effects on their housing, the abuse of job opportunities, the population growth, and the negative effects that come around this. So I understand the frustration. I understand people say, listen, man, we want something done now. But my job as your leader is to say, I hear you. We're going to do this fast as we possibly can without jeopardizing the potential risk of not doing it right, because it's so essential to our overall economy. You got to recognize this, Mr. Connor. The Cayman Islands has no tradable resources. The last things that we used to do were turtle and thatch, and we don't do that no more, and we can't sell turtle. Our forefathers were so unique in their development. Jim Borden, Faisal Johnson, and just to name a few, of who created this structure of this economy out of a little mosquito country, that we are top of the region, and it's been done based on a balanced, I wouldn't say balanced, or tried to back then, balanced immigration structure where labor would be available to support the service industry upon which we need technical skill sets outside of it. What we have failed to do is make sure our people are prepared for those areas, and make sure the integration of those business owners understand their obligation to say it is in your best interest that Kenneth Bryan, John McField, Steve Seymour has a job, because if they don't have a job, the government going to come for you. That's what we fail to do. And I'm worried that the risk that we're going to do, rather than thinking about the relationships between the employer and the employee is not mended, we be extreme with our approach and become unattractive to an industry called services that we relate. Tourism service, financial services. That's what we do. If they go, we can't sell nothing. We can't sell the sand on the beach. I mean, literally, as in, we're losing it now as we speak. So I want to put that in perspective, but to bring it back around about the holistic viewpoint. The thing that is going to change the things that people are concerned about most, housing and job availability and progression up the ladder, is actually the point system. So when I said these changes, I don't mean that they're not going to have an effect, but the fundamental effects that the people want change. The changes are in the point system, the ability to become Caymanian, the fact that they're putting pressure on the housing market by buying homes is because of the point system. So I'm saying that if it was me, I would think that the government would want to bring the point system changes first more than this. But again, my personal opinion. Go ahead.
Yeah, I was surprised we didn't see something about the point system sooner. Because the one thing which, the key things that I was hearing that bothered Caymanians, and housing, yes, traffic, but in terms of direct immigration rate, it was ensuring continued opportunities for Caymanians in the job market, and a growing concern around the feeling of being outnumbered, not from a population perspective, but from the Caymanian population, the number of people becoming Caymanians. When I have a lady that I've known for many years, very sensible, worked in a variety of industries, one morning say to me, "Roy, have you seen these numbers in terms of the sheer numbers of people who are now Caymanian?" She said, "I am now feeling outnumbered," and I've never heard her speak like this before. So when I hear her saying that to me, and then you walk around and others, those are the things that I was picking up on. And the point system, I think, is the biggest place we're gonna impact that. This does to some degree as well. But I want to highlight something we haven't said yet, that and I think it's important, which is that should this pass, and it probably will, right? What comes into effect on January 1st? What aspect of this comes into effect on January 1st?
You could
only one thing is that I'm aware of. Only one thing that I'm aware of. Maybe this other thing that Kenneth just mentioned with the fees, I don't know. But the one thing that I'm aware of is the civil service.
Yeah.
Right? Everything else is out there to come into effect at some future point, yet to be decided. So,
but it could still be January.
So it could still be January, but the feedback that I've received from people in government, it won't be January. Right? Where I'm going with this is several people have said to me, including senior people within government, they're feeling that this is being rushed. I hear you about what people want change, yes, but rushing it, getting it right is better than rushing it. But again, the only thing coming into effect January 1st is the civil service bill.
Yeah.
So I'll leave it.
One more question before you go. As far as businesses are concerned and getting them on board when it comes to employment of Caymanians, do we use the carrot or do we use the stick?
I think a little bit of both. I think that's what balanced leadership is about, is being able to be persuasive enough for them to see the benefit in ensuring that Caymanians get work.
And if it's not happening?
And if it's not happening, what could end up being the end result? I've always said that, when a Caymanian is not eating and surviving, they will go to their animalistic tendencies to do things that are outside the controls of law to survive. So when you're sitting there and you're eating and you're having your steak and your dinner and your nice gated community and on so forth, eventually over time, people get upset. They get frustrated if they don't get an opportunity. They will do things that are wrong. And that's what we need to prevent. And sadly, it doesn't happen overnight, It happens over time when the human being breaks and they go, all right, I had enough. I'm going to do something wrong to be able to survive. Because naturally, most people want to work and pay their bills.
Which is why the Fair Employment Commission that was proposed in the Parliament under Sir Alden, and it was a proposal that came, the nut of that, the idea of that came from people in the private sector. A Fair Employment Commission. COVID happened, it did get Mr. Saunders brought it up in a previous Parliament. It was passed. Is a good place to start for a place for Kim Islands to go if they feel they're being treated unfairly. It's another stick, right? I asked the minister if he was looking at doing that. The answer was no. It would have been good if this was another bit of the armor that he was putting in place to protect Kim Islands. I said to him, I hope you change your mind. So, but again, the answer is yes, carrot, but if it's not happening, yes, you need some stick.
Mr. O.C., I want a last thing to say. Sure. There's an important factor, and you can discuss it later on. As in the input of these changes, we asked the business community through the Chamber of Commerce. We don't have a labor union in this country. Who's speaking for the worker? You see how important consultation is? Because there's no actual central place we can go survey your people, tell me what they feel. Because unfortunately, we don't have one. I'm not suggesting that we need one, because it comes with other concerns. But we don't have a central place to say, all right, we know how the working class feels. The only how we can do it is do it randomly, one by one, and that takes time. So I just wanted to put that in the conversation. Thank you so much for today. It was a wonderful show.
If I could, just before I go, on Monday, November 10th, 3 p.m. to 6 p.m., Eddie Sanchez Park, the Red Bay and Georgetown East constituencies Family Fun Day. Come out. It'll be a fantastic day for families and kids. It's a holiday Monday. Do what you need to during the day, and come out and join us at 3 o'clock. And do visit Red Bay Holiness Church for a barbecue on Saturday.
Okay, folks, gone 5 minutes over the time, but anything for the opposition at any time as well. All in good jest this morning, folks. We are still friends. We are still friends here as well. Have a great day. And as usual, we ask the good Lord to continue to bless these three beautiful, wonderful Cayman Islands.
For the record, proudly brought to you by
Brand Source Home Gallery, inspiring luxury. Doctors Hospital, peace of mind is important when life happens. Doctors Hospital, always there for you. Call 949-6066. And Cayman Airways, call them on 949-2311 to book your nonstop flights to Los Angeles and Panama. Kirk Market, experience a world of choice. JN Money, from abroad to Yad. And Cineco, keeping Cayman covered.
This is the People's Radio Station.